4021. 4021. Chapter 4021, Contradictions. This time, it was Lin Moyu's turn to be shocked. The discernment beast actually knew about the myriad spirits pavilion. Could it even eavesdrop on the world behind the gate? That seemed impossible. If it could really hear, it wouldn't need to ask these questions. Another possibility was that someone else had entered the myriad spirits pavilion before and told it about it afterward, but this was also impossible. Both Wan Zongling and Old Road had said Lin Moyu was the first person to enter the myriad spirits pavilion in a very long time. That left only one possibility. The discernment beast knew about the myriad spirits pavilion because it had always known, not because someone told it. The discernment beast seemed to enjoy Lin Moyu's surprise, laughing heartily and completely forgetting its earlier grumpiness. Just now, Lin Moyu had shocked it, now, it was returning the favor. Lin Moyu quickly sorted out his thoughts, considering all sorts of possibilities, some reasonable, some not. In the end, he said quietly, "If I'm not mistaken, you've been to the myriad spirits pavilion before." The discernment beast smiled and shook its head, as if denying Lin Moyu's guess. Lin Moyu pressed, "At the very least, you've heard of the myriad spirits pavilion." The discernment beast replied, "Stop guessing, you'll never get it right." From its expression, Lin Moyu could tell his guesses were wrong. Based on his experience with the discernment beast, he knew that while it was clever, its eyes often betrayed its true thoughts. Lin Moyu sighed, "It seems you're a survivor from that domain." As soon as he said this, the discernment beast's expression changed for a split second before returning to normal. Lin Moyu caught the change and was shaken inside. This really was a survivor from that world. This answer explained many mysteries. Why the secret arts from the myriad spirits pavilion could be used in this world, for example, meaning the rules were compatible. But different domains should have different rules, there must be some connection. Why was the Great Gate here? Was it because the discernment beast had come here? That domain had been so powerful, it shouldn't have been destroyed so easily, and its strong ones shouldn't all have perished. There must be other survivors. The discernment beast's expression answered many questions but also raised new ones. Clearly, it wouldn't tell him more. The discernment beast coughed lightly. "So, what did you see in the myriad spirits pavilion?" Its gaze was serious, and an invisible aura enveloped the island. Not only would it not answer Lin Moyu's questions, it was now demanding answers itself. Clearly, if Lin Moyu didn't answer, it wouldn't let things go. But Lin Moyu met its gaze, equally serious. "Senior discernment, though I am weak, I've always been one who yields to reason, not to force." Lin Moyu responded in his own way. "If you want to know, ask nicely, if you want to threaten me, forget it." The discernment beast suddenly withdrew its aura and burst out laughing. "Just joking, Lin my friend, don't take it to heart. If I'm not wrong, you must have met Wan Zongling, right? So he even knows Wan Zongling. He really does know that side well," Lin Moyu thought, now 70 or 80% certain the discernment beast came from that domain. He replied, "Yes, I met the pavilion master." The discernment beast shook its head. "Don't call him pavilion master. He never called himself that, even though he was. He always went by Wan Zongling. Since Wan Zongling is still around, the myriad spirits pavilion hasn't been completely destroyed. He should still be reincarnating somewhere, though who knows when he'll return." Lin Moyu asked, "So you mean Senior Wan Zongling is currently reincarnating in this world?" The discernment beast shook its head. "Not necessarily. Beings like him, who knows where they'll reincarnate." Lin Moyu asked, "Could reincarnation happen in another world?" The discernment beast wasn't surprised. "What's so strange about that? He long ago transcended the limits of any one world. Of course he could reincarnate elsewhere." Wan Zongling had never explained the nature of domains and worlds in detail. Lin Moyu had thought he'd have to figure it out himself. But now, seeing the discernment beast so knowledgeable, it was clear it knew a lot about this. Lin Moyu asked, "Senior, can you tell me about the relationship between domains and worlds?" The discernment beast grinned. "A piece of wild beast essence for the answer. Clear price, no cheating." Lin Moyu immediately handed over a piece of wild beast essence. The discernment beast shook its head. "That's not enough for your question." Lin Moyu handed over 10 pieces. "Please explain in detail." He had plenty, so no need to be stingy. The discernment beast explained, "What you call world and what Wan Zongling calls domain are basically the same thing. But you need to understand, domains and worlds have strengths and weaknesses. The world where the myriad spirits pavilion was is actually weaker than this one. This surprised Lin Moyu. He thought it would be stronger. But on reflection, it made sense after all, that world's Taos were isolated, which was a flaw. The discernment beast continued, don't be surprised. Precisely because it was weak, it was easier to break through the world's limits and surpass it. And because it was weak, it could be reformed even after surpassing it, you could stay within it. At the same time, because it was weak, there was no way to ascend to the ultimate level. The ultimate level, Lin Moyu asked, Senior, is the ultimate level you speak of the realm after the Saint Spirit realm? More or less, the discernment beast replied. Saint Spirit realm is just what they called it. Change the world, and the name changes too. And even at the same level, strength varies by world. For example, someone like the human sovereign is mid-tier among Eternals, but can still compete with the myriad spirits pavilion's hall masters. In some ways, he's not as good, but in others, he's better. Lin Moyu asked, so the last step you mentioned before, what level is that? That's a level beyond this world, the discernment beast said. As I said, different worlds, same level, different strength. When you reach that realm, you'll understand realm doesn't matter, only true strength does. Some domains look high level but are actually weak, others look low level but are terrifyingly strong. But remember, at the ultimate level, everyone is the same. All Taos become one, all paths lead to the same end. Lin Moyu asked quietly, last time you said you didn't know what comes after Eternal, but now you sound very familiar with the Saint Spirit realm. Isn't that a contradiction? According to Wan Zongling, the step after Eternal is the Saint Spirit realm, but the discernment beast had said before it didn't know what came after Eternal, now it seemed to know all about it. The contradiction gave Lin Moyu a headache. The discernment beast shook its head. Not at all. Saint Spirit realm is just their name, Eternal is just this world's name. After the last step. 4022. Chapter 4022, Transcendence. The discernment beast continued, as for what realm comes after the last step, each world has its own name for it, so I wasn't lying to you before. But once you take that step, you're definitely stronger than the so-called Saint Spirit realm. Those guys don't dare leave their own world. They only try to modify their world so they can stay. They're like turtles hiding in their shells, afraid to go out, so they'll never reach the ultimate level. But this world is different. Many eternal beings here have the courage to try that last step, to go beyond the world. Not everyone is willing to leave their world, though. Lin Moyu immediately thought of the Kunlun Emperor and asked, what do you think of the Kunlun Emperor? He believed the discernment beast must know what the Kunlun Emperor had done. According to what the discernment beast said, after taking half a step, the Kunlun Emperor was also rejected by the world, but he didn't dare leave. Instead, he tried to modify the space of the void Kunlun so he could stay, even slaughtering countless worlds and beings in the process. But the discernment beast slowly shook its head. He's different. How so? Lin Moyu pressed. The discernment beast said, as far as I know, he only took half a step, but the real issue is the boat of calamity. The topic circled back to the boat of calamity. Lin Moyu was now certain the Kunlun Emperor was inside the boat of calamity, but whether the voice he'd heard there was the Kunlun Emperor was still unclear. The discernment beast continued, the boat of calamity is very mysterious. I don't know everything about it, only that it's ancient and has existed since the beginning of the world. The discernment beast had never been to the boat of calamity and couldn't eavesdrop on it, so it knew nothing more. It only knew that after taking half a step, the Kunlun Emperor eventually entered the boat of calamity. In contrast, Lin Moyu had been inside and seen some things. What started as a Q&A became more of a conversation. From the discernment beast, Lin Moyu learned a lot and sorted out his thoughts. Most important was the distinction between the two worlds. The world of the myriad spirits pavilion, even though its Saint Spirit realm surpassed the eternal level of Lin Moyu's world, wasn't necessarily stronger in true combat power, just superior in some abilities. At that level, realm is just a label, true strength is what matters. The discernment beast told Lin Moyu that those who surpass the limits of the world and stand above it are called transcendents. This is a widely recognized term across many domains and is unrelated to cultivation or strength, only to one's position. In some weak worlds, their transcendence might only have the power of a Tao Lord in this world. Yet all paths lead to the same end, all transcendents have the same ultimate destination. In the myriad spirits pavilion's world, there were many transcendents, but none dared to pursue the ultimate end. They only tried to modify their own space, which was a kind of self-imposed limitation. In the end, the myriad spirits pavilion provoked someone they shouldn't have, and the whole world suffered. The discernment beast only spoke of surface matters and clearly didn't want to go deeper. But from what was said, Lin Moyu could infer a lot. The discernment beast also knew Lin Moyu would figure things out, but that was Lin Moyu's business. Lin Moyu was now 90% certain the discernment beast had come from the myriad spirits pavilion's world and survived into this one. Among the many transcendents of that world, probably only the myriad marvels supreme dared to attempt the ultimate level. But because it was too easy to become a transcendent in that world, breaking through to the ultimate level was almost impossible. In contrast, in Lin Moyu's world, if someone could take the last step after becoming eternal, they'd have a much better chance at the ultimate level. The ultimate level was mysterious. Even the discernment beast didn't know exactly what it was, but was certain it existed. This made Lin Moyu think the discernment beast had seen someone at that level with its own eyes. His first thought was of the green-robed old man and the white-robed elder. Those two might have already reached the ultimate level, or they wouldn't be able to come and go in the world so freely. There was also the green-robed old man's partner, who was probably the same. The discernment beast laughed. Stop guessing. You're not even a transcendent yet. Wait until you are, then you can think about these things. Lin Moyu laughed at himself. I can at least say I've met a transcendent. The discernment beast shook its head. Wan Zongling doesn't count. He said he stayed for the myriad spirits pavilion, but really, he was just timid. As it spoke, it looked off into the distance. Alright, your foolish friend has been rescued. I don't want his stupidity to pollute my home. Take him and go. The discernment beast was clearly trying to send him away, and Lin Moyu knew its temperament and that it didn't want to see Antares. Then I'll take my leave, senior. I'll visit again when I have the chance. With that, he left some wild beast essence and departed. In the Dragon Lake small spirit domain, Lin Moyu found the unconscious Antares, with the Golden Furnace Emperor's projection beside him. Clearly, it was the Emperor who had brought him out. When Lin Moyu appeared, the projection vanished, not wanting to meet him. No wonder, raised by the discernment beast they have the same temper, Lin Moyu muttered, wrapping Antares in a soul flower and taking him away. The Golden Furnace Emperor appeared before the discernment beast and bowed. Teacher, it's done. The discernment beast suddenly asked, Janao, do you resent me for not letting you take the last step? The Golden Furnace Emperor shook his head. No, I understand. I can try that step. The discernment beast said, it's not that you can't try, but the chance of success is less than 1%. You're the second emperor, and your innate talent is already a notch below the first. The first tried to take that step, became a transcendent, and disappeared. No one knows if he's alive or dead. If you insist, you'll probably end up the same. I don't want that for you. The Golden Furnace Emperor replied, I understand. The discernment beast sighed, as long as you do. If you ever really want to try, I'll do everything I can to help. After Lin Moyu and Janao left, the island returned to peace. The discernment beast sighed. Wan Zongling was timid, but so am I. The ultimate level, never mind, best not to think about it. It shook its head with a wry smile, full of self-mockery. A moment later, it suddenly realized, that brat, he promised me a new formation, but broke mine and didn't replace it. Next time I see him, I'll definitely teach him a lesson. 4023. Chapter 4023, The Mother Zhao. Dragging the soul flower, Lin Moyu stopped by the world occupied by the Soul Heart King. Thousands of years had passed, and the Soul Heart King was still merging with the world, in a state of slumber. Merging with a world is an extremely slow process. Without external help, it would take at least tens of thousands, even hundreds of thousands of years. Lin Moyu tossed a piece of spirit-nurturing wood into the world, which could help the Soul Heart King speed up the fusion and also aid the world's growth. Leaving the Dragon Lake small spirit domain, the Dragon Lake King finally breathed a sigh of relief. That guy finally left. Lin Moyu had put immense pressure on him. Every extra day Lin Moyu stayed was another day of anxiety. Now that he was gone, the Dragon Lake King could relax and sleep in peace. That was the life he wanted. Half a day later, the soul flower dissipated, and Antares woke up with a dragon's roar. Seeing Lin Moyu, Antares was stunned. Why are you here? Lin Moyu said irritably, didn't I tell you to find a suitable world? Why did you go to the Beast Abyss? Antares replied, so that place I went to was called the Beast Abyss. Seeing his blank, innocent look, Lin Moyu snapped, don't play dumb, spill it. Antares recalled, I looked for several worlds, but none were suitable. The Tao lords in those worlds were interested in me and tried to catch me. I fought them, but there was no clear winner, so it all ended inconclusively. Later, I finally found a world with a dragon race. There was a female emperor there, a mother dragon. She took a liking to me and wanted to have kids with me. I couldn't beat her. Lin Moyu was speechless, hearing such an absurd story. The mother dragon queen wanted to force Antares to have children, he couldn't win, so he desperately fled. After using a secret technique to escape, he ended up in the beast abyss. Lin Moyu stifled a laugh. Why didn't you just agree? She only wanted you to have kids, not your life. Besides, you're a dragon. Dragons are famous for spreading their seed everywhere, or there wouldn't be so many mixed blood dragons. Antares protested with a dragon roar, I'm a dragon god. My bloodline is noble, how could I just spread it around? Lin Moyu grinned, clearly not buying it. Sounds to me like you just couldn't beat her and were embarrassed to admit it. Antares nearly exploded. Nonsense, she was just too ugly, I wasn't interested. Lin Moyu let the joke drop. Alright, you're pure as jade. So what happened after you entered the beast abyss? Antares frowned as he recalled, my memory's a bit fuzzy. That place was weird, it messed with my mind. There were a lot of soul beasts, but they were well behaved and didn't bother me. I don't know what that place was. Since they didn't bother me, I left them alone. But later, some other guys came after me. They were kind of like soul beasts, but I'm sure they weren't. They attacked me, saying I wasn't following the rules and needed to be punished. Of course, I fought back. These guys looked tough but were weak. I killed a bunch with my dragon breath. But they just kept coming. Kill a batch, more would show up, and they got stronger and stronger. Eventually, I got tired and started retreating. I don't know how many years passed like that. Antares made it sound casual, but Lin Moyu sensed it was more complicated. From the description, there were strange beings in the beast abyss, almost like administrators, enforcing basic order and punishing violators. They weren't strong individually, but couldn't be killed off. Knowing Antares, he probably couldn't win and had to run. Lin Moyu snorted, are you hiding something? Antares insisted, no, nothing to hide. But Lin Moyu wasn't fooled. Tell the truth, you know you can't hide it from me. Antares hesitated, then finally admitted, those guys got stronger and stronger. Later, even tougher ones showed up, but I could still beat them. But then, for some reason, they became immune to my attacks. I couldn't do anything but run. So, the enemies adapted to Antares' attacks, forcing him to flee. This immunity reminded Lin Moyu of the Soul Eater spirits, but the ones in the Beast Abyss must be some kind of world rule manifestation. Lin Moyu said, and then you waited until the Golden Furnace Emperor came to save you. Antares was puzzled. Wasn't it you who saved me? I just felt a big hand grab me, then I blacked out. Right, so the Golden Furnace Emperor had yanked Antares out of the Beast Abyss. The details didn't matter. Lin Moyu shook his head. Doesn't matter. What's important now is getting you to fake your death and escape. You don't have time to find a suitable world, so I'll use Plan B and put you in my Great Thousand World. Antares asked, how confident are you? Lin Moyu said, over 80% it should work. Antares agreed immediately. Good enough, let's do it. I'm tired of this place anyway. Lin Moyu could tell Antares was still hiding something. Seriously, what else aren't you telling me? Antares hesitated, but under Lin Moyu's stare, finally confessed. That mother dragon did something to me. She said no matter where I go, she'll find me. His voice was quieter now, clearly lacking confidence. Lin Moyu asked, did she mean she could find you in the real world or the soul void? Antares replied, seems like both. Lin Moyu was speechless. No wonder Antares was so eager to go to the Great Thousand World, he was running for his life. Suddenly, Antares looked into the distance. Oh no, she's coming. Quick, check what she did to me. Lin Moyu looked into Antares' soul and saw a faint light deep inside, carrying a strange power. Lin Moyu sighed, looks like you really can't escape. Antares wailed, even you can't help. Lin Moyu said, I don't know what method she used, but the mark isn't in your soul, it's in your true spirit. I'm actually curious how she managed that. 4024. Chapter 4024. Antares is a virgin. Lin Moyu had never seen anyone who could directly tamper with a true spirit, there must be something special about this. The true spirit is one of the most mysterious things in existence. Even in various worlds, only a true spirit imprint exists. Yet the other party could manipulate the true spirit's essence itself, which was truly intriguing. Suddenly, space nearby split open. Accompanied by a dragon's roar, a divine dragon flew out from the rift. A great Tao Lord. Lin Moyu sensed the newcomer's aura and realized it was a great Tao Lord. No wonder Antares couldn't defeat her. She had used the mark she left to cross space, which is why she could claim she could find Antares no matter where he ran. Sensing her aura and seeing which Tao she cultivated, Lin Moyu was a bit surprised. Profound Yin Great Tao Lord. In the world, there is the Yin-Yang Great Tao, the foundation for the origin power of Yin and Yang, and the basis for the evolution of all living things. Under the Yin-Yang Tao, there are many branch Taos, the Yang Attribute Tao, the Yin Attribute Tao, and the combined Yin-Yang Tao. This great Tao Lord had comprehended the profound Yin Tao, a branch of the Yin-Yang Tao, but much stronger than ordinary branches. Lin Moyu immediately understood why she was interested in Antares. Antares was born from the Yang Dragon Tao, possessing extremely strong Yang energy. Although he later fused with the Yin Dragon, the Yang Dragon Tao still dominated his body. Outwardly, Antares radiated pure Yang energy. Yin and Yang complement each other, so this mother dragon naturally saw Antares as a treasure. Antares shrank his massive body and hid behind Lin Moyu, trembling. "Kid, help me." Lin Moyu laughed, "I think she's great. You two would complement each other perfectly, you'd gain a lot from this." Antares protested, "No way, I don't have any feelings for her. Dragon race personality, caring about this." Lin Moyu didn't believe a word. Lin Moyu greeted the mother dragon, "Lin Moyu of the human race, greetings." The mother dragon looked at Lin Moyu, then at Antares hiding behind him. Her huge form shrank and she transformed into a human shape, bowing slightly. Long Yi greets Taoist Lin. Very polite. Lin Moyu's first impression of Long Yi was good. For a proud dragon, and a great Tao Lord at that, to take human form and converse was rare. After her greeting, Long Yi looked at Antares. "Why are you hiding? I'm not going to eat you." Antares grunted twice but said nothing. Lin Moyu joked, "Senior Long Yi, are you planning to take him back to be your breeding dragon?" Long Yi immediately corrected him, "Don't make it sound so bad. I just want him to come back and be the Dragon Emperor." Lin Moyu smiled, "Senior, you should know that in his own world, he's also a dragon god, and now has the ancestral dragon's bloodline. He's the leader of the dragon race there." Long Yi said, "I know that world, it's called the Origin Continent, right? The will of that world is no good." That made things easier. Lin Moyu said, "So even if you force him to go, it's useless. His true spirit imprint is still in the Origin Continent, and his life and death are controlled by the world will." Long Yi replied, "No problem. If he's willing to be Dragon Emperor, I can use the power of my world to try to seize his true spirit imprint." Lin Moyu was surprised so that was possible. This profound Yin Great Tao Lord seemed very knowledgeable about true spirits. Lin Moyu's eyes narrowed. "As far as I know, aside from the true Fire Tao, no other Tao or method can directly manipulate a true spirit. Senior Long Yi, how did you plant a mark in his true spirit?" Long Yi said, "That's not something I can tell you. Just come back with me and be the Dragon Emperor. I'll help you gain your freedom, and as Dragon Emperor, you'll command billions of dragons. Your status will be equal to mine." Hearing this, Antares poked his head out and firmly replied, "No." Long Yi said, "This Lin kid is right. I left a mark in your true spirit. No matter where you run, it's useless." Antares stubbornly said, "I'm not going. I don't even know you. Why should I be your Dragon Emperor and have kids with you?" Lin Moyu suddenly whispered, "Antares, don't tell me you're still a virgin." Antares shrieked, "None of your business. Hurry up and get rid of this mother dragon for me." Now Lin Moyu understood why Antares was so flustered. He really was a virgin dragon. "Haha, I can't believe it, you actually." Lin Moyu couldn't help but laugh out loud. Antares, embarrassed and angry, shouted, "Say that again and I'll never speak to you again." Lin Moyu laughed, all right, no more jokes. Don't worry, with me here, no one can take you away." He turned to Long Yi, "Senior Long Yi, please leave. Antares doesn't want to go with you, so you can't take him." Long Yi frowned. "Lin kid, do you know who you're talking to?" Lin Moyu said, "Of course I do. Profound Yin Great Tao Lord, your realm is higher than mine, but realm doesn't equal strength." He snapped his fingers, and hundreds of millions of undead servants appeared in the void, glaring at Long Yi. Though they were only Tao Lord level, their numbers were overwhelming. Long Yi snorted in disdain. "No wonder you dare talk to me like this, with so many Tao Lord puppets. But do you really think these can stop me? Lin Moyu replied, of course not. I can bring out 100 or 1,000 times more. But no matter how many Tao Lords, they can't stop you. Still, it would take you a long time to kill them all. And if, during that time, they invade your world, how many could you save? Long Yi's eyes narrowed, killing intent rising as she let out a cold dragon roar. Are you threatening me? Lin Moyu said, not a threat, just stating a fact. Antares is my sworn brother. If you insist, I'll fight you to the death. But that's not an outcome you want. Though he denied it, Lin Moyu was clearly threatening Long Yi. If she tried to take Antares, he'd retaliate by attacking her world. After a moment's standoff, Long Yi finally backed down a little and looked at Antares. Why don't you want to be my Dragon Emperor? Lin Moyu asked too. Yeah, why not? I think Senior Long Yi is great. Antares replied with a sigh, when I was a young dragon, I dreamed of a passionate romance. Otherwise, what's the point of a dragon's life? Before he could finish, Lin Moyu slapped him. Speak properly. Antares said, it's the truth. You have to build a relationship first, that's love. You can't just force it. I've seen too many loveless unions. Having kids without feelings is just a transaction. 4025. 4025. Chapter 4025. He's different, he can't break free. Lin Moyu was stunned. He never expected that someone as brash as Antares would be so particular about love. Not only was Lin Moyu surprised, but so was Long Yi, the profound Yin Great Tao Lord and Dragon Empress. As the Dragon Empress of her world, she knew exactly what dragon nature was like. Even in different worlds, dragon races were largely the same: domineering, lustful, spreading their seed everywhere, resulting in countless mixed blood dragons. She had tried to curb this many times, but with little effect. So when she was drawn to Antares' pure young aura and wanted him as her maiden Dragon Emperor, she never imagined he would refuse. Long Yi's eyes grew brighter, as if she'd found a lotus in a muddy world. Her voice trembled slightly with excitement. You really think that way? Antares snorted, of course. If I can't have true love, I'd rather stay single forever. If you want to force me to breed, I'd rather die. Long Yi's voice quivered, I understand. I was wrong before. I'll take my leave for now. With that, she turned and vanished into the depths of the void. Lin Moyu sighed and patted Antares on the head. I never thought you were not just an old virgin dragon, but a pure-hearted one too. Antares snorted, is she really gone? She won't come back to catch me, right? Lin Moyu replied, relax, she's gone. With that reassurance, Antares finally breathed easy. Good, now she probably won't try to force me anymore. Instead, she'll try to court me, and eventually fall in love with me. Lin Moyu was about to praise Antares for his change of heart, but was caught off guard by this sudden shift. He stared blankly, what do you mean? Antares snorted, you're really slow. I mean, only this way will she pursue me, fall deeply in love, and eventually we'll become Tao partners. Then she'll listen to me, and we'll be a perfect couple. Lin Moyu was speechless for a while before finally saying, so you're plotting against her. If you wanted to be with her, why not just go? Didn't you hear? She wanted you as the Dragon Emperor. Antares replied, you don't get it. If I was forced to go, even as Dragon Emperor, it would be an empty title. I'm just a Tao Lord, she's a great Tao Lord, she'd suppress me completely. And if she forced me, would she treasure me? Once I'm no use, she'd kick me aside. But now, she'll see I'm different from other dragons. A pure-hearted dragon like me is rare. Didn't you notice her expression change? She won't give up, she'll pursue me, and then I can take the lead. Listening to Antares' analysis, Lin Moyu realized he'd underestimated him. He always thought Antares wasn't very smart, but now it seemed he'd been wrong. This was a textbook case of playing hard to get. Antares said proudly, now you see, I'm not stupid, just don't like to use my brain. But if I do, who can compare? Seeing how smug he was, Lin Moyu ignored him. Let's go, time to get back to business. The world will is awakening, we don't have much time. Antares jumped in alarm. Let's hurry, then. The two hurried back. Lin Moyu explained the detailed process to Antares and gave him the heaven-covering stone and immortal jade. Antares, howling in pain, split his soul in two, 1/3 refining the heaven-covering stone, the other 2/3 refining the immortal jade. The soul-wrenching pain had Antares screaming all the way, and Lin Moyu suspected even the screams were half-acted, half-real. By the time they returned to the world-sealing Tao Lord's world, there were already two Antareses. Lin Moyu said, Don't waste time, get started. Antares nodded and self-destructed without hesitation. The soul that refined the heaven-covering stone exploded instantly, and the remaining 2/3 vanished as well. The origin continent mourned, torrential rain poured down. This time, not even a month had passed since the last Tao Lord's fall. Another one had died. But those on the outer Great Tao and the origin continent seemed used to it. So what if someone died? They always came back. A Tao Lord sensed it and confirmed that the new dragon god of the dragon race had fallen. One would expect some reaction from the dragon race, but there was none. They seemed used to it, as if every Tao Lord's fall was just a fake, and their dragon god would return as well. With the immortal Jade's power, Antares' soul was being reborn, though the process was slow, at least a year or more. Suddenly, Lin Moyu looked ahead as space split open and Long Yi reappeared. What happened? Long Yi asked urgently, her gaze falling on Antares with some confusion. Lin Moyu said, we're working on a way to fake death and revive. Long Yi seemed to understand. You're trying to break free from that world. Lin Moyu nodded, exactly. Long Yi sensed carefully, then frowned. Something's wrong. Can you tell me your method? I feel like something isn't right. Lin Moyu didn't fully trust her. You tell me what's wrong first. Long Yi said, he's different. He can't break free. By he, she meant Antares. He was different from the others. Lin Moyu was stunned, then realized she was right. Antares was a dragon, born from the yin-yang origin, and now the Tao Lord of the Yang Dragon Tao, representing the Yang origin of the origin continent's yin-yang source. Other people's true spirit imprints were just on the world's surface and could be erased at any time. But Antares' true spirit imprint was like a brand on the world, almost impossible to remove. Plus, Long Yi had tampered with Antares' true spirit and seemed to have a special connection to it. After thinking it over, Lin Moyu decided to trust Long Yi and explained his method. Since there was no conflict of interest, there was no harm in sharing. Long Yi said, I don't know what your heaven-covering stone and immortal jade are, but this fake death method works for ordinary beings. It's useless for creatures born from the world's yin-yang origin. His true spirit isn't just an imprint, at least part of the true spirit itself is in that world. Lin Moyu frowned, then what do we do? Long Yi thought for a moment, then decided, I have a secret art that I stumbled upon. It's very effective for true spirits. Since you're from the same world, you can use this secret art to protect his true spirit and help him truly break free. 4026. 4026. Chapter 4026. True Spirit Life Technique. Long Yi handed a dragon scale inscribed with a secret art to Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu didn't take it immediately, instead asking, why? The last time Long Yi visited, she was tight-lipped about true spirit matters and unwilling to share. Why was she suddenly willing to reveal it now? Was it just a woman's fickleness, or was it because of Antares? Did she actually have feelings for him? Maybe a little, but not enough to make her give up something so precious. Such a secret art was incredibly valuable. How could she give it away so easily? Long Yi replied, I have my reasons, but please believe me, I truly want to help him. She no longer referred to herself as this emperor, clearly lowering her stance. Lin Moyu could tell she was sincere about helping Antares. As Lin Moyu took the dragon scale and prepared to examine the secret art, Long Yi suddenly said, please promise me, Lin Taoist, not to spread this secret art. Lin Moyu nodded, don't worry, no one else will know. Long Yi nodded, I trust you. Lin Moyu didn't know why she trusted his promise, but now wasn't the time to question it. He quickly examined the dragon scale and absorbed all the secret art within. The secret art was called True Spirit Life Technique, created specifically for manipulating true spirits. However, it was incomplete, only a portion was included. Its functions were simple. First, it could mark another's true spirit, so that as long as the target remained in this world, they could be tracked. With the tracking technique included, one could break through space and arrive in an instant. The key was that it didn't require mastery of the space Tao, even a Tao Lord could use it. This explained how Long Yi could appear so quickly before. Another function of the secret art allowed one to erase their true spirit imprint from a world. However, this erasure came at a cost. One would lose a portion of their cultivation in that world, dropping significantly in realm. A Tao Lord would fall to the Great Tao realm, and not even as a top-tier soul, possibly dropping to a third or even second-tier soul. This loss was severe and hard to recover from, making the method undesirable. The True Spirit Life Technique also included a method to transfer a true spirit imprint from one world to another. Because this was a transfer, not an erasure, the cost was much lower. The catch was that it required mobilizing the full power of a world, essentially pitting two worlds against each other. If the original world was too strong, the transfer could fail. Long Yi had said she could use her world's power to help Antares move his true spirit imprint to her world. She was referring to this method. Her world was strong, not weaker than the origin continent, so she was confident. Clearly, she was willing to do a lot for Antares, even at considerable cost. But Lin Moyu was curious why she'd go so far. Was it just for Antares' body? That seemed unlikely. A great Tao Lord wouldn't act so irrationally. She must have other motives. Still, it was Antares' business, and Lin Moyu didn't care to meddle. His job was to help Antares transfer his true spirit imprint. The other world Lin Moyu had in mind was, of course, his own Great Thousand World. Although newly formed and young from a world's perspective, the Great Thousand World was fundamentally different. It wasn't just a world within the origin continent, but an existence on the same level as the origin continent itself. Within it were countless middle and small worlds, while the origin continent was just one world within its own universe. By mobilizing the power of the Great Thousand World, Lin Moyu felt it should be possible, especially since the origin continent's world will hadn't fully revived, making resistance weaker. The only issue was that the Great Thousand World didn't belong to this universe, so moving the true spirit imprint there was equivalent to changing universes. The origin continent couldn't interfere, but the cosmic rules might not allow it. Still, even if the rules objected, at least the imprint could be moved out. Afterwards, it could be placed elsewhere, or Antares could die again to let the imprint return to the cosmos. Either way, there would be options. Without hesitation, Lin Moyu mentally rehearsed the secret art several times. Fortunately, it was simple, much easier than the myriad spirits' secret art. That was why Long Yi could give it to him now. If it were too complex, there wouldn't be time. In just half a day, Lin Moyu had a basic grasp of the true spirit transfer method. With a thought, a strange aura rose in his soul, emitting peculiar sounds like rain, waves, birds, and beasts. All the sounds of the world seemed contained within, forming a special frequency that resonated with the origin continent. Lin Moyu's soul didn't make much of a disturbance, but in the origin continent, the third of his soul left behind also activated the true spirit transfer technique. The secret art shook the entire world, reaching the world's core to find Antares' true spirit. The world reacted violently, and Lin Moyu frowned. The secret art was accelerating the world will's revival. The world will's aura was rising fast. At this rate, it would recover partially in a few days. Early revival would weaken the world will, but to kill Antares, it wouldn't need much effort, just a thought to erase his true spirit. Lin Moyu's heart tightened. Time was short. With the secret art, his mind entered a strange space filled with countless points of light, like a sky full of stars. These were the true spirit imprints of every living being in the origin continent, each protected by the world's power. He could see but not touch them. Among the endless imprints, Lin Moyu quickly locked onto Antares's. Unlike others, which floated or were like ordinary writing, Antares's imprint was deeply embedded, fused with the space itself. The world's power enveloped it, making it nearly impossible to separate. Even death wouldn't erase it. The world might just nurture it again, and another Antares could appear in the future. Only if the world will destroyed this era could Antares truly die. Lin Moyu thought. The ancestral dragon probably didn't know this. If he had, he might have chosen to die and reincarnate, maybe even with memories. What a pity. Having found the true spirit, Lin Moyu sped up the secret art. The power of the Great Thousand World surged from his body, joining the secret art to form 10 giant hands reaching for Antares' true spirit imprint at the core of the origin continent. 4027. 4027. Chapter 4027. Then let's go big. The world power protecting Antares' true spirit imprint. The world power of the origin continent collided with the power of Lin Moyu's Great Thousand World. The clash of two world powers erupted with tremendous force, sending the true spirit imprint scattering to every corner and clearing a vast space. Impudent, Lin Moyu seemed to hear a furious roar, the wrath of the world itself, shaking his soul to its core. He could feel the entire world's anger, and the world will's revival was accelerating as a result. Only natives of this world could enter here, and now a native was using the power of another world to seize a true spirit imprint. This was the act of a traitor. How could the world will not be enraged? Using the heaven-covering stone was like being a thief, but this was outright robbery. Lin Moyu ignored it, enduring the discomfort in his soul and channeling even more power from the Great Thousand World to forcibly suppress the origin continent's power. The true spirit life technique was meant to be performed by Antares himself, using the power of Long Yi's world. The backlash should have been shared by Antares, Long Yi, and her world. That was the price Long Yi had spoken of. But now, since Antares couldn't act, Lin Moyu had to do it himself, bearing all the backlash with the Great Thousand World. The Great Thousand World rumbled, and the origin continent's power surged in, pressing down on the Great Thousand World. As a mature world, the origin continent's power was stronger than the Great Thousand World's. Fortunately, the Great Thousand World's essence was higher, so no matter how strong the origin continent was, it couldn't harm the Great Thousand World like a ton of cotton unable to crush a pound of steel. In fact, under this pressure, the Great Thousand World absorbed and refined world crystals and wild beast essence even faster, and its Tao evolution also accelerated. So pressure really does create motivation, huh? Lin Moyu thought, both amused and helpless. Helping Antares transfer his true spirit turned out to be quite beneficial. The Great Thousand World's giant hand broke through layers of resistance and finally grasped Antares' true spirit imprint. Lin Moyu continued to drive the true spirit life technique, pulling Antares' true spirit imprint out. The origin continent grew even angrier, but could do nothing to stop him, only watch as Antares' imprint was removed. Under the protection of the Great Thousand World's power, even the revived world will of the origin continent couldn't easily erase Antares. Huh, that's my true spirit imprint. During the process, Lin Moyu saw his own true spirit imprint. He tried to use the Great Thousand World's power to take his own imprint, but an invisible force erupted from it, his own power blasting him away. The true spirit life technique specifically warned not to use it on your own imprint. Lin Moyu just wanted to try, but failed. A healer cannot heal himself, he sighed. Amidst the origin continent's fury, Lin Moyu successfully extracted Antares' true spirit imprint. He then attempted to place it into the Great Thousand World, but an invisible force blocked him. Lin Moyu realized the rules of the universe wouldn't allow it. Antares, after all, belonged to this universe, and the Great Thousand World was outside it. His true spirit imprint couldn't enter. Unless Lin Moyu could obtain the true spirit's essence and send that in as well. Put it away for now. Lin Moyu decided, storing the imprint in his spatial storage. This time, it worked. The storage space was as miraculous as ever. In the soul void, Lin Moyu's soul slowly opened its eyes. It worked, but there's a problem. Long Yi immediately asked, what problem? She seemed very concerned about Antares, not even asking how Lin Moyu succeeded or where his world's power came from. Lin Moyu said, his true spirit imprint can't be placed into the world I prepared. Long Yi replied without hesitation, there are two options. 1. Put the imprint in my world. You can trust me, I won't harm him. 2. Let him refine the imprint himself. That means returning it to the universe, but he'll become a dragon without a home unless he can find 10 suitable worlds. She was being honest. With so few dragons, and the yin-yang division, it would be hard for Antares to find a suitable world. Lin Moyu said, let's wait for him to revive and let him decide. He wouldn't decide for Antares knowing his character, he'd rather be a rootless dragon than let someone else control his true spirit. Maybe it didn't matter now, but in the future, who knew? Antares and Lin Moyu had different roots and goals, so Lin Moyu would respect his choice. Antares was still reforming his soul in the Immortal Jade, and it would be a while before he recovered. Lin Moyu said, Long Yi, please watch over them for me. I have something to take care of. Long Yi nodded, don't worry, no one can touch them with me here. Lin Moyu trusted her, leaving Antares and the world-sealing Tao Lord in her care, and headed for the origin continent. In the origin continent, after reclaiming Antares' true spirit imprint, Lin Moyu went to Antares' body and collected it, then did the same for the world-sealing Tao Lord's body. With the world will about to awaken, it would soon know what had happened and realize these Tao Lords' true spirit imprints were gone, then search for their bodies. When it found the bodies missing, it would understand. Lin Moyu never intended to hide his actions. The world will would come for him. If he wasn't around, it would target his friends and family, or even attack Yudao City. Sacrificing all life was the world will's specialty. Maybe it would even destroy this era, erasing all true spirits. Each provocation pushed the world will to awaken sooner, compressing Lin Moyu's time. Only 3 to 5 days remained, barely enough to do anything more. Since I've already done this much, might as well go all out. A wild idea flashed through Lin Moyu's mind. He activated the secret art again and entered the space of true spirit imprints. 4028. 4028. Chapter 4028. Burying the world. Stimulated by Lin Moyu's actions, the world will awaken much earlier than expected, forcing another change in plans. Originally, Lin Moyu wanted to proceed step by step, helping others break free one by one, then escaping the origin continent himself. Now, it was clear he no longer had time. Even if he managed to escape, the newly awakened world would be furious and sacrifice all living beings in the world. That was not something Lin Moyu wanted to see. So he made a bold decision. He charged once more into the space of true spirit imprints. The power of the Great Thousand World surged forth, manifesting countless giant hands that reached for all the true spirit imprints at once. Lin Moyu planned to take all the true spirit imprints with him, making it impossible for the world will to perform a mass sacrifice. Previously, without the true spirit life technique, he could only settle for less. Now, with the technique, this was possible. Of course, these true spirit imprints would eventually have to be returned to the origin continent. Otherwise, for the living beings, the best-case scenario would be a heavily damaged foundation and a drastic drop in cultivation. Worst case, they'd die outright. Lin Moyu was well aware of the consequences. He was only taking them temporarily. Once he dealt with the world will, he would return the imprints. The world's rage grew more intense. Previously, taking one imprint was tolerable, but now he was trying to take billions. This was digging up the origin continent's very roots, utterly unforgivable. The not yet fully awakened world will instinctively fought back, unleashing terrifying power to try to obliterate Lin Moyu, the instigator. The world's power was immense, but Lin Moyu had the entire Great Thousand World and trillions of undead servants to share the attacks, allowing him to ignore the origin continent's assault. In terms of raw power, Lin Moyu could already contend with the world will. No matter how strong the world will was, it was only a great Tao Lord, perhaps even weaker than a true great Tao Lord. Dealing with a world will was not difficult for him. What Lin Moyu truly feared was the true spirit imprints. In the hands of the world will, they could determine his life and death, as well as the fate of billions of beings on the origin continent. Ignoring everything else, he seized the Heavenly Emperor's true spirit imprint. The origin continent was even more agitated, the world's rage became flames, and the entire world roared. On the outer Great Tao, countless Taos manifested, each one becoming violent and unstable, unable to accommodate cultivators. Buildings along the Taos collapsed, and cultivators fled into the sky. What's happening? What's wrong with the Taos? Why are they all appearing at once? The Taos have changed, they're unstable, like they could explode at any moment. I can feel all the Taos boiling with anger. The world is furious. Look at the origin continent. Countless voices rang out as everyone on the outer Great Tao turned to look at the origin continent. The origin continent was shaking violently, its 5 continents trembling as if in an earthquake. Volcanoes erupted, giant waves rose in the boundary sea, and the sky filled with crimson fire clouds, threatening a rain of fire at any moment. Purple-black lightning flickered among the clouds, as if the world was about to unleash an apocalyptic judgment. Cultivators on the origin continent looked up, feeling immense pressure, their powers suppressed and unable to move. Ordinary people knelt in terror, praying to the heavens. Both the outer Great Tao and the origin continent were plunged into a doomsday crisis. It's over, this world is finished. It's Lin Moyu, it must be him. He must have known the world would become like this, that's why he let his people escape first. Maybe the world is like this because of him. Lin Moyu sensed the world will's awakening accelerating. The world's power surged, fighting him for control of the true spirits. He saw everything happening outside. Although the world will wasn't fully awake, it had already made its choice. Sensing a threat, it chose to destroy the world, just as it had in the previous 2 eras. It wasn't willing to take risks if danger appeared, it would rather start over. Time meant nothing to it, it could wait billions of years if needed. If you want to destroy the world, then let's do it. Lin Moyu had long anticipated that the world will might go berserk, using any means necessary, including world destruction and mass sacrifice. That's why he'd made so many preparations to guard against this. Activate the formation. With a thought, the formation he'd set up erupted into action. Countless beams of light rose from the origin continent, each one rooted in a source spirit vein, carrying boundless origin energy. The beams collided in the sky, then exploded, weaving a giant net that covered the entire continent. The formation's origin energy surged, its power shocking everyone. No one knew how many source spirit veins lay beneath the land and sea, only Lin Moyu and the world will knew. Now, all of them erupted, their combined strength far surpassing any Tao Lord. Someone exclaimed, "That's Lin Moyu's formation. He's drawing all the power from the source spirit veins. My God, how powerful is this formation? It's strong, but with so many different energies, how does he control it? Isn't he afraid it'll go haywire?" Don't forget what Lin Moyu left behind. What he left was the divine continent cauldron, which suppressed all the source spirit veins. As they spoke, the cauldron rose from the earth, taking command of all the veins. The formation was complete, the origin energy forming a giant net protecting the 5 continents and the boundary sea. The once trembling land grew calm. But this was just the beginning. The formation continued, connecting to the outer heaven Tao. Infinite Tao power was drawn in, merging into the formation. From the divine continent cauldron, several treasure vases flew out, releasing great Tao origin energy. This energy acted as a catalyst, fusing all the Tao powers together without any conflict. The formation grew even stronger, sealing the origin continent tightly. The outer great Tao, now drained of power, also quieted down. Lin Moyu felt the formation and snorted, "You want to go crazy? I'll turn your wall into a mountain, let's see you jump now." The world will wanted to destroy the world, but Lin Moyu refused to let it. He gathered all the world's power to form a defense, preventing the world will from acting. If the world will wanted to destroy the world, it would first have to seize control from Lin Moyu. After stopping the world will from destroying the world, Lin Moyu continued to seize true spirit imprints, taking more and more by force. "You're courting death." A furious roar echoed through the heavens as the world will finally awakened. Everyone saw a terrifying giant manifest, towering to the sky, appearing in the void. 4029. 4029. Chapter 4029, Planting the Fruit. Billions of true spirits were seized, the world burial failed, and the wrath of the world will shook the universe. "You court death." Those 3 furious words became boundless power, smashing into the formation over the origin continent. This was supposed to be its world, under its complete control, yet now it had become someone else's, a barrier in its path. With a roar, the world will struck, but the formation remained unscathed. The formation gathered all the origin continent's source spirit veins, drew on millions of Taos within the world, and used the divine continent cauldron to channel great Tao origin energy as its core. The formation possessed unimaginable might, easily blocking the world will's assault. The world will's power came from the world itself, but so did the formations. It was like the world will attacking itself naturally, it had no effect. While the formation was unharmed, the strong ones on the outer great Tao were not so lucky. Even the aftershocks made them cough blood and suffer serious injuries. Some weaker cultivators died on the spot. Even Tao lords were hard pressed. The power of both the world will and Lin Moyu's formation far surpassed theirs. "Retreat. You can't watch this fight." A Tao lord roared, fleeing with his people in panic. Their faces were full of fear, for only at their level could they sense just how terrifying that strike had been. They knew what that figure in the heavens was. The world will, the true master of this world. Tao lords were like ants before it. Only now did they realize how powerful Lin Moyu had become to dare challenge such an existence. Someone suddenly understood. No wonder all those Tao lords faked their deaths and revived, it was to escape the world will's control. They didn't know how Lin Moyu did it, but they could guess his goal. After its first strike failed, the world will attacked again. This time, it didn't just shout, it raised its hands and smashed down with giant fists. Lin Moyu ignored it, continuing to seize true spirits. By now, he had taken a third of all true spirits. As their number dwindled, each remaining true spirit was protected by more world power, making them harder to take. Retreat. The Tao lords, seeing the world will's true assault, turned pale and fell back even farther. 10 million miles wasn't enough, they fled 100 million miles. Even so, they still felt the shockwaves, but at least had a chance to survive. They unleashed all their power to defend themselves and their followers, not knowing if it would help, but having to try. Boom! The giant fist slammed into the formation, making it tremble and warp as if about to break. At that moment, countless figures flew out from Yudao City, Hao Daozhen, Sword Daozhen, Little Mei, Little Wu, and others. They took their places above the city, activating a formation that merged with the continent's formation. With operators, the formation's power instantly stabilized and grew stronger. A giant figure appeared atop the formation, and the divine continent cauldron flew into its hand, transforming. The giant wielded the cauldron and smashed it at the world will. This was Lin Moyu's backup plan. The formation was not just for defense, but could also attack by manifesting a giant. Lin Moyu had taught Hao Daozhen, Little Mei, and the others how to control it, so they could operate it together. Meanwhile, Xiao Jin and Xiao Peng also charged at the world will. Though weaker, they were not powerless. The world will roared in anger, furious that these ants dared challenge its authority. Life and death should be in its hands, yet now it was on the defensive. The formation's giant clashed with the world will's giant. The world will was strong, and as it adapted, it began to gain the upper hand. But suddenly, its aura plummeted and it fell to a disadvantage. In the soul void, billions of undead servants attacked the origin continent, tying up part of the world will's power and forcing it to fight on two fronts, weakening it. Lin Daoist, I'm here. Came a clear voice, and Yuyan, Lord of Cause and Effect, had arrived. Originally, Lin Moyu hadn't planned to call for outside help. He was strong enough on his own. But with the world will awakening early, he decided to have an Yuyan assist. He got straight to the point. Senior, please plant a cause and effect. And Yuyan asked softly, what fruit do you want me to plant? Lin Moyu pointed at the world will. Let it destroy my true spirit, but not the others. The result? It dies, I live. And Yuyan frowned. That goes against the rules, Lin Daoist. Do you know the price? Name your price, Lin Moyu replied. She shook her head. It's hard to say. Better you tell me what you can offer. Lin Moyu thought, then produced a treasure bottle. Will this do? The bottle was refined from the essence of a great Dao wild beast king and contained 10,000 drops of great Dao origin energy. To ensure success, Lin Moyu was willing to pay a steep price. He didn't use ordinary beast essence. And Yuyan's eyes lit up. Essence of a wild beast king. You even refined it into a bottle. What's inside? See for yourself, Lin Moyu said. And Yuyan opened it and gasped, ancestral water essence. But then she shook her head. No, that's not it. What is this? This is something I refined from countless great Daos. I call it great Dao origin energy, Lin Moyu explained. Great Dao origin energy, and Yuyan repeated, then made her decision. Alright, I accept. I'll take all the karmic consequences myself. Please specify exactly what you want, so I don't make a mistake. There was only one chance to plant the cause, so it couldn't go wrong. Lin Moyu explained his request in detail, and Yuyan asked several questions to confirm. Lin Moyu noticed that after seeing the great Dao origin energy, Yuyan became even more respectful. She already treated him as an equal due to his status as a great Dao Lord's reincarnation, but now there was clear respect, likely because she believed he could surpass her in the future. At her level, she understood how rare and precious great Dao origin energy was. After confirming the details, Yuyan summoned the cause and effect great Dao. With a thought, invisible power shot into the world will. Plant the fruit. With a soft command, the world will's eyes blazed with light, and in the next instant, Lin Moyu's soul shattered. 4030. 4030. Chapter 4030. Staging a grand drama. The Lord of the Great Tao of Cause and Effect personally planted the fruit, pushing the power of causality to its peak. Lin Moyu hadn't originally planned to call in Yuyan for help, but he noticed something unusual with his own true spirit imprint. The world will seemed suspicious of him and was paying special attention to his imprint. He worried that if he faked his death as usual, he might end up like Antares, unable to break free from the origin continent. Moreover, he couldn't take his own true spirit imprint away. In a flash, he thought of a solution: have the world will itself kill him, and make the world will believe he was truly, utterly dead. Only then would it completely relinquish his true spirit imprint, allowing him to escape. To do this, he needed to influence the world will, a nearly impossible task. That's why he thought of Yuyan. With her status and power, she could use the force of causality to affect the world will, which would be hard for it to resist or even notice. Once Yuyan planted the fruit, the world will went berserk. It already saw Lin Moyu as a mortal enemy, and now it was desperate to destroy him. Kill you, kill you, the world will roared madly. The undead servants continued to battle it, further fueling its rage. Yuyan murmured, its hatred for you runs deep. Why plant another fruit? Lin Moyu replied, just to be sure. You can never be too careful. This thing has destroyed 2 eras before. It's extremely cautious. Even though my preparations make it hard for it to wipe out an era again, there's no telling what tricks it might still have. And Yuyan said, your caution is truly unmatched. Lin Moyu answered, after so much planning, I can't afford any mistakes at the end. She agreed, for the world will, it's just bad luck to have met someone like you. Indeed, the origin continent's world will was unlucky. It had been outmaneuvered step by step while it slept, and now it was trapped. Killing it wasn't difficult for Lin Moyu, but before that, he needed to let it kill him first, and make it look natural without arousing suspicion. With an Yuyan's fruit planted, the risk was minimized. And Yuyan asked, your immortal jade needs time to restore you. Should I guard you during that period? Lin Moyu smiled and said nothing, but she could tell he already had arrangements. She watched with interest, as if enjoying a grand play. The drama unfolded in both the real and virtual worlds, and Yuyan watched both, missing nothing. Far away, the discernment beast also listened intently, which for it meant seeing he, too, watched the battle unfold. Back in the real world, Lin Moyu left the space of true spirit imprints. He had already taken most of them. The remaining ones were so tightly wrapped in world power that taking them would waste too much time, so he decisively gave up and charged into the outer great Tao to battle the world will. After being affected by Yuyan's fruit, the world will went completely mad, unleashing all its power. The situation reversed under the pressure of Lin Moyu's formation giants. The world will had been losing, but now it regained the upper hand. Lin Moyu's own intervention didn't seem to change much. His Tao Lord level combat power was insignificant at this level. Still, his appearance drew many eyes. It's Lin Moyu, he's finally appeared. Why is he fighting personally? With his strength, he shouldn't get involved. Maybe he's desperate. After all, he's only using tricks to gather these powers, which should belong to the world will. The formation can't last forever. If he can't win quickly, he'll lose in the end. Many discussed, thinking Lin Moyu was panicking because he couldn't win. But those with sharp eyes saw that while his skills were impressive for a Tao Lord, he was still far below the world will. Without the three giants, he'd have been crushed long ago. It seemed their suspicions were confirmed. The giant's power was waning, and Lin Moyu's anxious expression grew more intense. Some Tao Lords whispered, the formation's power is running out, so he's desperate. He's doomed. He's been too overbearing for years, now it's time to pay. There can't be two tigers on one mountain. With the world will here, there's no need for another like him. I think it's a shame if he dies. He's done a lot of good. It would be a waste to lose someone like him. Everyone had their own opinions. Lin Moyu continued his act, growing more anxious and fighting harder, but to little effect. He only provoked the world will further. The three formation giants' auras continued to weaken, as if their power was truly running out. The world will's killing intent intensified, ready to strike him down. In the soul void, it was the same. Countless undead servants fell, and the world will gained the upper hand. Lin Moyu, too, looked troubled in the soul void, just as he did in reality. And Yuyan watched and secretly laughed. He really can act. She knew Lin Moyu was faking. He was trying to fool the world will into thinking he was finished. She thought he was right. This way, he'd be absolutely safe. But considering her own fruit, she thought Lin Moyu might be overly cautious. Once the fruit was planted, the world will would kill him anyway. Her Tao of cause and effect was not to be trifled with. Still, she was just doing her job. Whoever won, she'd be the winner. In both worlds, Lin Moyu was at a disadvantage, and the world will grew stronger. In the real world, Lin Moyu seemed to be on the brink of death several times, only surviving thanks to quick dodges. His anxious and angry expression was obvious to all. Suddenly, Lin Moyu muttered, as expected, those two have arrived. And Yuyan was surprised who had come. The next moment, she sensed others approaching. In the real world, Lin Moyu was completely overwhelmed, about to die at any moment. Suddenly, a voice thundered, stop. A beam of light shone from afar. The god of light charged into the world, appearing in the void. 4031. Chapter 4031, Two Clowns. In the real world, the god of light suddenly descended in a blaze of radiance, exuding the aura of a great Tao Lord. His pressure swept across the origin continent, and he was no weaker than the world will itself. But the world will paid him no mind, slapping at Lin Moyu, intent on killing him. I said, stop. The god of light unleashed 10,000 rays of light, blocking the strike for Lin Moyu. The world will abruptly turn to the god of light. You dare to stop me? Now, reason was clouded by rage. Anyone who tried to stop it from killing Lin Moyu was an enemy, a mortal foe. The god of light frowned, flicking a beam of light that exploded in the void. Purify. The radiance illuminated the outer Great Tao. For a moment, a trace of reason appeared in the world will's eyes, but it was quickly replaced by murderous fury. The God of Light was stunned. His purification technique had no effect. Then he realized what was happening with the world will and cried out, "Karma, the eye of karma." He saw that the world will had been marked, and by none other than the Lord of Karma. His power could not affect the Lord of Karma's mark. Lin Moyu looked at the God of Light, his lips moving as a voice entered the God of Light's soul, but out. The God of Light froze for a moment, then roared, "Your business is my business. If you want to die, it won't be that easy." Only Lin Moyu understood the true meaning. Others thought the God of Light was protecting him. A being above even the great Tao Lord had appeared to stop the world will from killing Lin Moyu. Everyone thought Lin Moyu would be saved, but he only sighed, a little helpless. "I knew you'd come. Good thing I was prepared." The God of Light grinned. "Then let's see." Suddenly, the space of the outer Great Tao shattered, and the discernment beast's phantom appeared. Without a word, it let out a deep roar and charged at the God of Light. The God of Light recognized the discernment beast and knew how strong it was. With a startled cry, he immediately retreated, his eyes full of fear. He couldn't understand why the discernment beast would help Lin Moyu. But there was no time to think. An eternal being, even just a phantom, was not weaker than himself. If he wasn't careful, he could be seriously injured or even killed. The closer one was to eternity, the more one understood the gap between a great Tao Lord and an eternal being. The God of Light, cherishing his life, fled at once. In the soul void, and Yuyan watched and chuckled. So this was Lin Taoist's backup plan. Lin Moyu laughed. "There's still one more. Should I ask you to come out?" And Yuyan was surprised. She followed Lin Moyu's gaze. Though nothing seemed to be there, she sensed something unusual. Someone was hiding, and not many could hide from her. At least a great Tao Lord, and one skilled at concealment. Counting them, there were only one or two possibilities. Lord of Darkness. And Yuyan named the intruder. The void twisted, and the Lord of Darkness revealed himself. "Lin Taoist, long time no see." Lin Moyu smiled. "Didn't expect you to return from the origin ancestral land. Looks like you've already met the God of Light." The Lord of Darkness replied in a deep voice, "That's right. Today you want to die, but I won't let you." Lin Moyu sighed. "Not even allowed to die? What a headache. I figured you two would come." He called out, "Human Sovereign, would you mind?" A voice answered from the void, "No problem." In an instant, the human sovereign appeared before the Lord of Darkness and threw a punch. The human sovereign was always decisive. If there was a fight, he fought, no need for words. "Human Sovereign," the Lord of Darkness cried, throwing a punch in return. The void shook, cracks spreading everywhere. The Lord of Darkness was blasted away, screaming he was no match for the human sovereign in raw power. In terms of realm, the human sovereign was eternal, while he was only a great Tao Lord. The human sovereign gave him no chance to recover, shattering the void and chasing after him. The Lord of Darkness fled in disgrace, and whether he could survive the human sovereign's pursuit was uncertain, let alone interfere with Lin Moyu. And Yuyan hadn't expected the once mighty Lord of Darkness to become a beaten dog so quickly. She looked at Lin Moyu. "You really planned this well." Lin Moyu replied, "It's not that I'm so clever. I've made many enemies, but also some friends, so I had to be prepared. The God of Light and Lord of Darkness might not have come, but just in case, I needed a countermeasure." He didn't take the two of them seriously. He just didn't want them to ruin his plan. With the discernment beast and human sovereign driving off these two clowns, the world will in the real world, once again blinded by rage, rushed at Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu was once more in mortal peril. The onlookers were stunned, not knowing what had just happened. Weren't those people here to help Lin Moyu? It seemed like it, but maybe not. Who was that giant beast? It looked terrifying. This world has too many secrets. I can't figure out what Lin Moyu is really after. Everyone felt Lin Moyu was a walking mystery, a super enigma, impossible to fathom. The God of Light and Lord of Darkness were chased away like two clowns, and everything seemed to return to the starting point. The three formation giants seemed to recover a bit of strength, but soon fell behind again. This time, Lin Moyu's situation was even worse than before. After being interrupted, the world will seemed even stronger. Lin Moyu began to fight desperately, pushing his Tao Lord power to the limit, as if even his soul was burning. But it was useless against the world will. He was utterly suppressed by its repeated attacks. The three formation giants were beaten back to the origin continent, leaving Lin Moyu to face the world will alone. A giant palm descended, blocking out the sky and smashing down on Lin Moyu. His body was crushed, his soul obliterated. Facing the world will's full force strike, Lin Moyu died on the spot. At the same time, in the soul void, Lin Moyu's soul exploded in front of An Yuyan. All the undead servants vanished. A Tao Lord had fallen, the world mourned, and rain poured down on the origin continent. Everyone felt a deep sadness. He's dead, he really died. The world mourns, a Tao Lord has fallen, so he must be dead, but I don't think Lin Moyu would die so easily. Lin Moyu was indeed dead, body and soul destroyed, yet many felt it wasn't real. In recent years, Tao Lords had died one after another, only to revive again and again. Maybe Lin Moyu would do the same. Many thought it was possible somehow, they believed Lin Moyu would return. After killing Lin Moyu, the world will howl at the sky, venting its deepest rage. The fruit An Yuyan planted continued to work, clouding the world will's mind and making it believe Lin Moyu was truly dead. 4032. Chapter 4032, Freedom. Lin Moyu suppressed his own rebirth, allowing the immortal jade to take effect. Through his own death, he sought to comprehend the essence of the immortal jade while reflecting on his entire plan. Normally, when a living being dies, their true spirit imprint in a world disappears and everything disperses into the heavens and earth. Under the rules of the universe, the core true spirit then takes effect. According to certain rules, the true spirit will reincarnate in some world, becoming a new being. This is reincarnation. Where one reincarnates and what one becomes is unknown to all. However, for some beings who have reached a certain cultivation level and are deeply entangled with their world or due to powerful obsessions, their next life is highly likely to be reborn in the same world. Traces of them remain everywhere, and their soul is not fully dissipated. When the true spirit imprint reappears, it can bring memories of the previous life. That's one possibility. Another is if the world itself hasn't given up the true spirit imprint, then after death, the person either revives directly or is guaranteed to reincarnate in that world. Take Antares, for example. As a dragon, he is part of the first race born from the yin-yang origin of the origin continent in this era. The entire dragon race's true spirit imprints are deeply intertwined with the origin continent. Now that Antares has become the new dragon god and inherited the ancestral dragon's position, his true spirit is deeply branded into the world. That's why just using the heaven-covering stone couldn't make the origin continent let go of Antares, forcing Lin Moyu to use the true spirit life technique to forcibly seize his true spirit. During this process, Lin Moyu realized his own true spirit was much the same. But he couldn't forcibly take his own true spirit imprint, he had to find another way. Ultimately, he decided to make the world will give him up voluntarily. To achieve this, he thought of An Yuyan. By having her plant the karmic fruit, the outcome was predetermined, greatly increasing his margin for error. Even if things changed, the result wouldn't. Lin Moyu's goal was for himself to die and his true spirit imprint to dissipate. The whole process went smoothly, with only the God of Light and Lord of Darkness as minor interruptions. Lin Moyu had prepared for this. He had already arranged with the discernment beast and the human sovereign that, if those two appeared, the discernment beast would handle the God of Light and the human sovereign would deal with the Lord of Darkness. The Lord of Darkness was from the outsider race, making the human sovereign the perfect counter. The outcome was excellent, the whole play was a success. The world will wanted nothing more than to grind Lin Moyu's bones to dust, and after killing him, it raged madly. Of course, Lin Moyu wasn't really dead. If he wished, he could revive in a second. But he forcibly suppressed rebirth, letting the immortal jade substitute for it. Even so, his true spirit imprint still existed, just as he had expected. The heaven-covering stone couldn't let his true spirit leave the origin continent. Now it was up to the world will's choice. Although Lin Moyu had arranged everything, at this step, the initiative was no longer his. The world will howled for a while, asserting its invincibility, then began attacking the origin continent. The continent's formation still held, preventing it from destroying the world. And with Lin Moyu having taken most of the true spirit imprints, it couldn't perform a mass sacrifice to break through to the eternal level. The world will was not stupid, it knew what to do, but under the influence of the Tao of Karma, it acted impulsively. It instinctively believed Lin Moyu must have hidden the true spirit imprints within the formation, so it tried to break the formation to retrieve them. Whether it would destroy the era and start over, or try to achieve eternity, it hadn't decided. Attack after attack landed on the origin continent's formation, but it didn't budge. The divine continent cauldron continually released power, making the continent impregnable. Meanwhile, the source spirit veins and the power of the outer great Tao were constantly drawn upon, making everyone on the continent feel heavy, their powers suppressed no matter how strong, even Tao lords were reduced to ordinary people. Lin Moyu had thought it all through. This way, nothing could go wrong inside the formation, and he only had to face the world will. The world will, unable to break the formation and increasingly affected by karma, grew ever more furious and irrational. Suddenly, Lin Moyu's phantom appeared atop the divine continent cauldron. Impossible, you can't still be alive. The world will roared, growing more frenzied, attacking harder than ever. The aftershocks swept through the outer great Tao, forcing onlookers to retreat even farther. But the formation still didn't budge, and Lin Moyu's phantom seemed to mock the world will's impotence. Unable to break the formation, the world will could do nothing. Then, as if struck by a thought, it reached out and grabbed a true spirit imprint Lin Moyu's. Though Lin Moyu was dead, his true spirit imprint had not vanished. Die! The world will roared, crushing the imprint in its fist. The imprint shattered into countless fragments, dissipating into the void. And Yuyan saw this and whispered, "It's done." Lin Moyu's plan had succeeded. Now he just had to wait for the immortal jade to revive him. In the immortal jade, laughter echoed, purple light swirling as Lin Moyu was reborn. With the shackle of the true spirit imprint gone, Lin Moyu felt a wave of relief. He was finally free. And Yuyan smiled, "Congratulations, Lin Taoist, on your freedom." Lin Moyu chuckled, "Thank you." With a wave of his hand, his soul world finally left the origin continent. He condensed his soul world into his soul, making it portable. Now he could take it anywhere, and many previous restrictions no longer applied. In the soul void, the world will's avatar watched Lin Moyu's soul world depart, sensing something was wrong. But the influence of the Tao of Karma was too strong, so it didn't care, only roaring at the newly revived Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu smiled, "Now we can have a proper fight." In the real world, the supposedly dead Lin Moyu, wrapped in purple light, was reborn and appeared once more. He now controlled two bodies in both the real and virtual worlds. When people saw Lin Moyu return from the dead, no one was surprised. They'd felt all along he wouldn't die so easily. After all, recent years had shown that Tao lords could die and come back, and Lin Moyu's fake death tricks were well known, even if few understood the true reason. "You're not dead." The world will's roar echoed across the origin continent. Lin Moyu laughed, "If you want to kill me, you're not up to the task." 4033. Chapter 4033, Crushing. The true battle began. Now that Lin Moyu's true spirit imprint was gone, the world will had lost the ability to control his life and death. If the imprint had remained, the world will could have killed him through it, forcing him to die over and over as long as it wasn't completely destroyed. Everything done before, including planting the karmic fruit, was to make the world will personally crush that true spirit imprint. Now that it was done, it was time to send the world will on its way. Origin energy surged as Lin Moyu's cultivation rapidly soared. For the world will, this pitiful being whom he had schemed against so deeply, Lin Moyu gave it enough respect. He did not summon his undead servants to gang up, nor did he use the statues left by the celestial civilization. He wanted to use his own full power to give his opponent a worthy end. His realm kept rising, in both the real and virtual worlds, and in a blink, Lin Moyu reached the peak of the Tao Lord realm. And Yuyan's beautiful eyes widened at this moment. Lin Moyu was no weaker than herself. She even wondered if he had rejoined the great Tao and become a great Tao Lord again. But the next moment, her eyes nearly popped out. Lin Moyu's aura rose again, breaking through the Tao Lord realm. Though he had no Tao, at this moment, and Yuyan clearly sensed Lin Moyu's cultivation had surpassed her own. To surpass her realm meant reaching the final step. He has taken that step. And Yuyan could hardly believe it, nor dared to think further. In both worlds, Lin Moyu's body and soul broke through simultaneously. Great Tao world-ending palm. In both worlds, he struck out with the same palm. The power used differed. In the real world, he used half his strength, in the soul void, only 30%. The world will in the real world was a bit stronger, so he used more force. In the soul void, he was careful not to accidentally destroy the whole world with a single blow. As the great Tao world-ending palm appeared, the power of 10,000 Taos gathered. On the origin continent and the outer great Tao, every cultivator felt as if their own cultivation and realm were being drawn away, merging into that palm. The world will also punched out, meeting the palm head-on. Its fist shattered like tofu, and amid its unwilling roar, the world-ending palm smashed its body and scattered its will, utterly annihilating it. The palm print then vanished into the world's depths. Only then did everyone feel their power returning. What a terrifying palm! So this is Lin Moyu's true strength. Even the world will couldn't withstand that palm. Has Lin Moyu already become a legendary Great Tao Lord? Maybe, but I think even a Great Tao Lord might not survive that palm. Their shock turned to fear, then to submission. Even Tao Lords didn't dare oppose Lin Moyu anymore. Someone with endless schemes, overwhelming dominance, and unfathomable strength facing such a being, it was best to behave. In the soul void, the 30% strength world-ending palm also shattered the world will. The palm quickly dissipated, and Lin Moyu sensed the karma. He had accidentally killed a few people, but thankfully not too many. He didn't care about a bit of karmic backlash. His body and soul both shattered and were reborn in purple light. The aftereffects of the world-ending palm were unchanged. He still had to die once. After rebirth, Lin Moyu's consciousness fully returned to the soul void. He bowed to An Yuyan. Senior, my business here is done. Thank you for your help. An Yuyan smiled. No need to be so polite, Lin Taoist. I gained a lot myself and saw things I never imagined. Just now, Lin Taoist. Lin Moyu replied, you mean my realm just now, right? An Yuyan nodded. If I'm not mistaken, you surpassed the Tao Lord realm. Lin Moyu said, with the origin technique, I did briefly surpass the Tao Lord realm. As you know, that's the final step. I only barely touched the edge, not even half a step. Strictly speaking, I only brushed against it and only for a moment. An Yuyan asked, do you know what that realm is? Lin Moyu shook his head. I don't, but I once discussed it with the discernment beast, who called it transcendence. Transcendence, An Yuyan murmured. Does that mean transcending this world? Lin Moyu said, that's one way to put it, but to know for sure, you have to experience it yourself. It's an indescribable realm. No one could truly describe transcendence. Even the myriad spirits' pavilion's inheritance had no description of the saint's spirit realm. To surpass one's own world, you could only do so according to that world's rules. An Yuyan said, it seems you have hope of breaking through that last step. Lin Moyu shook his head. It's difficult. From what I know, that step is extremely hard. I can only keep searching. An Yuyan knew that step was hard, and didn't dwell on it. What do you plan to do with this world? Lin Moyu replied, this world will become mine. After so much planning, I have to gain something. She didn't ask for details. Then I'll take my leave. If you need anything, contact me. Take care, senior. As she left, An Yuyan's manner changed. She called herself Yuyan, signaling a closer relationship and recognizing Lin Moyu as her peer. After that palm strike, she felt even she would have trouble withstanding it. After An Yuyan left, Lin Moyu turned his attention to the origin continent. The world will there had been destroyed. For a new one to be born would take at least 10 million years. Now, with his true spirit imprint gone, the world considered Lin Moyu an outsider. But since he'd lived there so long, the transition would take a year or 3. After that, the world would treat him as a foreigner, possibly drawing hostility from other beings. Lin Moyu needed to finish his business before then. In the past, this would have been troublesome. Only the soul-seizing technique could solve it. But now, with the myriad spirit's secret art, he had a better way. He released the stolen true spirit imprints, letting them return to the world. Then he found the world's origin core, split off a wisp of soul, and used the spirit nurturing technique to nurture a new world spirit. As An Yuyan left, her expression was complex. She had truly seen things that opened her eyes. Someone breaking through the Tao King realm. After leaving, she stopped and looked into the void. Human sovereign, please show yourself. With a soft laugh, the human sovereign appeared. Greetings, Taoist Yuyan. She asked, why are you here? He replied, don't you know? Her expression changed. What are you planning? 4034. 4034. Chapter 4034. One of my past lives was also a big shot. It was done. The spirit nurturing technique went smoothly. The wisp of Lin Moyu's soul quickly merged into the world's origin core, fusing with it. His soul became will, using the world as a womb to nurture a new world will. The world will born from the spirit nurturing technique would become Lin Moyu's subordinate, and with the spirit control technique, he could fully control it. Finally done. Lin Moyu let out a long breath. Only now did everything feel truly complete. Although the plan had changed several times during execution, the final result remained unchanged. All his arrangements had worked, the world will had been schemed to death and hadn't been able to do anything. With the dust settled, Lin Moyu felt an indescribable clarity, as if a great weight had been lifted and his heart was transparent. Lin Moyu suddenly looked to the sky, his gaze piercing through the outer great Tao to another Tao, the Immortality Tao. The Immortality Tao revealed itself, casting a radiance only Lin Moyu could see, shining down upon him. In this moment, his understanding of the Immortality Tao surged like a tidal wave. He felt his cultivation rising, and vaguely saw his Immortality Tao within the land of return. The once calm Immortality Tao was now surging, the forces of life and death, two extremes clashing and sending up countless waves. The Immortality Tao was so unique that, in this world, only Lin Moyu could comprehend it, making him exceptional. According to the Lord of Curses, the Immortality Tao was not native to this world but descended from above, entering the land of return in a mysterious way and settling there. Some Eternals had tried to explore the Immortality Tao, but none had succeeded. Since Lin Moyu first comprehended the Immortality Tao, he had never fully understood it, even after becoming a Tao Lord. Now, with his heart clear, that gap was rapidly closing. He felt himself moving step by step toward complete mastery of the Immortality Tao. The Immortality Tao loomed larger in his vision, giving him a surreal feeling he couldn't tell if he was moving toward the Tao or if the Tao was coming to him. The sensation was both real and illusory, and even Lin Moyu couldn't distinguish it. So he simply stopped trying, following his instincts. There was no danger anyway. If this was an epiphany, let it come as fiercely as possible. He was still on the origin continent, and after the recent great battle, all the strong could see him, but no one dared disturb him. Even if he were just in enlightenment, or even dead and a corpse, under the lingering awe of his power, no one would dare approach. With his heart clear and soul transparent, Lin Moyu saw all causes and effects with perfect clarity. Unconsciously, he found himself standing atop the Immortality Tao, feeling as if he completely controlled it. Power surged, his realm rose, and the connection between himself and the Immortality Tao grew ever tighter. For some reason, Lin Moyu felt this power was always meant to be his. It was as if his power wasn't rising, but returning. The Immortality Tao radiated a sense of familiarity, as if saying, "You're finally back. Looks like one of my past lives was also extraordinary." Lin Moyu realized that this feeling, the reason only he could comprehend the Immortality Tao, the reason he crossed over from his previous world without a system, all stemmed from the fact that one of his past lives was truly remarkable. Some events in this life, like his system, might have been arranged by a past self. While this might seem strange, it wasn't impossible. Those who transcended the world, regardless of power, could do things ordinary people couldn't imagine. Perhaps one of his past lives was a transcendent. If so, this feeling made sense. But no matter the past, he lived in the present. Now, the Immortality Tao was merging with him, and he was advancing toward becoming a Tao Lord. He didn't need to fight for the Tao like others, since only he could comprehend the Immortality Tao. There was no one to contest it. Lin Moyu's aura shook the origin continent. From the earth to the outer great Tao, every inch of space, every corner, every projected Tao, even the world's core, trembled. The shockwave spread, not just through the world but to every living being within it. At first, their bodies shook, then their souls. What's happening? Why am I shaking uncontrollably? What's going on? Even my power is shaking. Even their voices trembled as the world roared. Only Lin Moyu knew the cause. The Immortality Tao was merging with him, and he was advancing toward becoming a Tao Lord. The clash of life and death within the Immortality Tao triggered tiny tremors, which, when transmitted outward, were infinitely amplified, causing the entire world to shake. The effect spread from the real world to the soul void, and even further. And Yuyan, in conversation with the human sovereign, turned to look toward the origin continent and softly said, "Lin Taoist is about to become a Tao Lord." The human sovereign was astonished, full of disbelief. So fast. He couldn't help but note that Lin Moyu was so young, not even a fraction of his own age, yet was about to become a Tao Lord. When he was Lin Moyu's age, he had only just reached the great Tao realm and knew nothing of being a Tao Lord. He achieved Tao Lord status at nearly 100,000 years old. Compared to Lin Moyu, what was he? Even if Lin Moyu was originally an eternal Tao Lord, just reincarnated, this speed was incredible. The human sovereign looked back at Yuyan. He's about to become a Tao Lord, and probably not far from eternity. Taoist Yuyan, have you thought carefully about what I said? If you wait any longer, you might not get another chance. And Yuyan frowned, considering his words. The human sovereign didn't press some things had to be decided by An Yuyan herself. After a moment, An Yuyan suddenly raised her hand, her 10 fingers weaving a lotus flower. Plant the fruit. The lotus flew into her brow, and she shuddered, a trace of pain on her face, but then she smiled brilliantly. After planting the fruit, An Yuyan had made her decision. Human sovereign, after much thought, I've decided not to get involved. But I won't reveal what you told me. Still, let me advise you don't do it. It will only lead to death. 4035. 4035. Chapter 4035. Heaven and earth celebrate, all Taos pay homage. Hearing An Yuyan's words, the human sovereign was momentarily stunned. To die, for an eternal being like him, this word was so unfamiliar. He was eternal, how could he die? At most, he could fall silent for a time, but would always return. Yet An Yuyan was also an eternal, she would not speak idly. The human sovereign asked, can you be more specific? An Yuyan shook her head slightly. I have glimpsed the fruit. If you persist, you truly will die. Don't doubt it, eternals can be killed. You saw Lin Taoist's palm, didn't you? He held back most of his strength. If he went all out, do you think you could withstand it? In the future, when Lin Taoist enters the land of return, if he targets your Tao, will your heavenly Tao be able to resist? The human sovereign frowned deeply. To make a move in the land of return unless he's gone mad, that one wouldn't allow it. And Yuyan replied, that one won't interfere. The human sovereign's expression changed. Is this only what you saw? And Yuyan nodded. Lin Taoist's return is the trend of destiny, unstoppable by human effort. Anyone who stands in his way will be crushed to powder. That's all I'll say. If you still want to act, I won't stop you, but don't expect to drag me into it. With that, An Yuyan left, and the human sovereign did not stop her. Clearly, the human sovereign was considering her words. After all, they were both at the same level, and he could not ignore her warning. In the end, he looked toward the origin continent, sighed, and slowly shook his head. It seems this path is closed. Lin Moyu felt himself merging with the immortality Tao, able to use 80% of its power many times stronger than before. But he was still half a step from truly stepping into the Tao's essence. Now he fully understood the difference between a Tao Lord and a Tao Lord. A Tao Lord is indeed much stronger than a Tao Lord, mainly due to a change in status. From a user and manipulator of the Tao, one becomes its owner. A Tao Lord manipulates the Tao, a Tao Lord owns it, able to strip any Tao Lord of access to that Tao. Once a Tao has a Tao Lord, no Tao Lord can compete. At a Tao Lord's whim, Tao Lords cannot use the Tao's power at all. Without the Tao's power, what are they? Thus, even among Tao Lords, the gap between a Tao Lord and an ordinary Tao Lord is vast like heaven and earth. But the gap between a Tao Lord and an Eternal is not as great. The Eternal's advantage is entering the land of return and gaining the world's recognition. As long as their Tao remains in the land of return, they cannot die. That's the Eternal's advantage. In terms of power, they are somewhat stronger, but the gap is not as large as between Tao Lord and Tao Lord. The immortality Tao was special. Lin Moyu had not yet entered the land of return, so he could control about 80% of the Tao's power. The remaining 20% was the difference between an Eternal and a Tao Lord. Having achieved Tao Lord, Lin Moyu understood many truths and the distinctions between levels. Vaguely, he saw the limit of the world. He knew that beyond was the world's ultimate limit. The world finally calmed, no longer trembling, but the rumbling grew even louder. Infinite rays of light shone from heaven and earth, enveloping the origin continent. Taos appeared in the sky, some not even present on the origin continent. All the Taos shone and resonated, as if celebrating Lin Moyu. A new Tao Lord had appeared in the world, all Taos paid homage. All cultivators above the great Tao realm simultaneously received a message from heaven and earth. Lin Moyu had become a Tao Lord. Whoosh! All at the great Tao realm, willing or not, simultaneously knelt. The might of heaven and earth forced them to bow to the Tao Lord and offer their blessings. Whether they wanted to or not, they had no choice. Heaven and earth are infinite, cultivators are infinite, the great Tao realm is infinite, Tao Lords are infinite, but there can only be one Tao Lord per Tao. Thus, a Tao Lord's status is fundamentally different from all other cultivators in the eyes of heaven and earth. Lin Moyu chuckled, what a commotion. He hadn't expected becoming a Tao Lord would cause such a stir, heaven and earth celebrating, all Taos paying homage. As he received the world's congratulations, Lin Moyu also received a message. Within 1,000 years, he must enter the origin ancestral land and remain there for 1,000 years before returning. This is the Tao Lord's mission, assigned by the rules of heaven and earth. Every 10,000 years, a Tao Lord must spend 5,000 years in the origin ancestral land, and after each entry, must wait 1,000 years before returning. As for what to do inside, he would only find out after entering. The world granted Lin Moyu the authority to open the passage at will. Among the myriad Taos, Lin Moyu vaguely saw a pair of eyes, those of the Candle Dragon, who had also come to celebrate. Didn't expect him to come congratulate me, how rare. The Candle Dragon's eyes sent 2 beams of light as a congratulatory gift. Lin Moyu closed his eyes, enjoying the world's celebration, feeling his physical body strengthen further. His body had always been among the strongest at his level, rivaled only by those who specialized in body cultivation. After all, he had tempered his body with the power Tao countless times. Now, under the tempering of heaven and earth, his body grew even stronger. His soul, however, remained unchanged, already at the world's limit any further, and he would transcend the world and be rejected by it. After a long while, the Taos faded and the world returned to peace. Lin Moyu stood in the void, as if he were the world's center, with everything revolving around him. It felt strange, but when everyone felt it, it became fact. The origin continent truly was Lin Moyu's world now. He was already nurturing a new world will, which would become his subordinate. More precisely, this world belonged to Lin Moyu, any future world will would merely be his tool for managing it. With a wave, Lin Moyu released Antares' true spirit imprint, returning it to the origin continent. The matter was resolved. Antares no longer needed to seek a new world or enter Lin Moyu's great thousand world. He could remain peacefully as the dragon god of the origin continent. As for his recent death, just count it as a wasted effort, and take a few tens of thousands of years to recover. One could imagine how frustrated Antares would be when he learned all this. He'd just been a bit player, got hurt, and it was all for nothing. There are gains and losses. But thinking of how Antares was fancied by Long Yi, maybe it wasn't such a loss. Suddenly, countless voices came from all directions. Greetings, Tao Lord. All cultivators above the great Tao realm bowed to Lin Moyu. 4036. 4036. Chapter 4036. Don't worry, I won't force anything. Lin Moyu calmly accepted the worship of countless cultivators on the origin continent. As a Tao Lord, he was fully deserving of this. With a sweep of his gaze, everything on the origin continent was laid bare before him. There were no secrets left. A hint of surprise flashed in his eyes. I forgot about them. In a corner, there were still 7 Tao Lords lying unconscious, remnants from the previous 2 eras whom he had knocked out and left unattended. You don't belong to this era anymore. Dust to dust, disperse. The immortality Tao surged down, unleashing the power of death. The 7, still unconscious, had their bodies corroded and perished in an instant, body and Tao both erased. Now that Lin Moyu had become a Tao Lord, his power had increased so much that dealing with these Tao Lords was effortless. Lin Moyu looked toward the heavens and spoke, his voice echoing across the world, "Rise, all of you. The world will be as usual. There will be no more world burial events. You can cultivate in peace. If you have the chance, perhaps you too can achieve the Tao Lord's path." "Thank you, Tao Lord," everyone replied in unison. Lin Moyu nodded and vanished in a single step. Back at his courtyard in Yudao City, Little Yuan and the others excitedly gathered around. Everything had gone smoothly, with no casualties. Lin Moyu had prepared for the worst. If his arrangements failed, the world will might have dragged many down with it, and even Little Wu, Little Mei, and the others might not have survived. But now, this was the best possible outcome. After chatting for a while, he shifted his consciousness and entered the soul void, heading toward where Antares was. Now that he was a Tao Lord, he moved even faster. Along the way, he sensed many changes. The undead servants had grown stronger, none were weaker than himself. However, the Taos they wielded came from the Great Thousand World, and only through chaotic energy could they exert such power in this world. Lin Moyu's attention turned to the Great Thousand World. His successful advancement to Tao Lord was due not only to his clear Tao heart but, most importantly, to the Great Thousand World's rapid strengthening. With the nourishment of wild beast essence, world crystals, and other resources, the Great Thousand World had evolved in a short time, completing a journey that would take other worlds hundreds of millions of years. The strength of the Great Thousand World determined Lin Moyu's cultivation ceiling. Its growth was key to his breakthrough. Now, with the world stronger, the region of chaotic energy had expanded, allowing more undead servants. Their number increased from 1.1 trillion to 1.3 trillion. Though the increase wasn't huge, each undead servant was now almost as strong as a Tao Lord, an utterly terrifying prospect. No one could imagine what it would be like if over 1 trillion Tao Lords charged out at once. He checked his other techniques. Each spell has grown a bit stronger, but overall, the changes aren't huge. After all, a Tao Lord is still at the Tao Lord level. Unless you change realms, the difference between techniques isn't that great. The world tree had also grown, now even larger and still enveloping his expanded soul world. Now that his soul world was free to move with him, everything was much more convenient. At least in the soul void, he no longer needed to store undead servants in his spatial ring. They could be replenished at any time if destroyed. Still, Lin Moyu was puzzled. Where did all these undead servants come from? Why were there so many, seemingly endless? Even as a Tao Lord, he hadn't figured it out. He had a sense that the secrets about himself might already surpass this world. The more he understood about the world, the clearer it became. The chaos seed still clung to the roots of the world tree in the chaos world, absorbing chaotic energy. Its recovery would take a long time, but for now, it didn't matter. He let it be. A day later, Lin Moyu rushed to the world where Antares was. Both Antares and the world-sealing Tao Lord were safe. Long Yi was guarding them, and when she saw Lin Moyu, surprise flashed in her eyes. You became a Tao Lord? That Lin Moyu had become a Tao Lord so quickly was beyond Long Yi's understanding. Becoming a Tao Lord was never easy. Even the breakthrough process could take thousands or at least hundreds of years. But for Lin Moyu, it had only been a matter of days. Lin Moyu said, "Thank you, Dragon Taoist, for guarding them." Long Yi replied, "No need to thank me. I didn't expect you to become a Tao Lord so quickly. Your foundation is truly astonishing." Lin Moyu smiled, "You flatter me, Dragon Taoist. I was just lucky." Long Yi asked, "Did you take care of everything over there?" Lin Moyu nodded, "The world will is gone." Long Yi asked, "And him? What do you plan to do?" She was referring to Antares. Lin Moyu said, "He probably doesn't want to leave after all. This is his home. I've already returned his true spirit imprint to the world. If he wants to go elsewhere in the future, I won't stop him. As for you, Dragon Taoist, if you want to do anything, as long as it's consensual, I won't interfere." Long Yi smiled, "Don't worry, I won't force anything." She then asked, "When do you plan to enter the origin ancestral land?" Lin Moyu replied, "I haven't decided yet. As long as I go within 1,000 years, there's no rush." Once he entered the origin ancestral land, he truly wouldn't be able to interfere with Antares' fate. Long Yi said, "Here's a suggestion, you can leave a clone here. That way, if anything happens, you can still handle it." Lin Moyu was puzzled. The origin ancestral land is so far away. Would a clone be useful? Long Yi shook her head, "Not for others, but for Tao Lords, yes. Heaven and earth give us special privileges. Even if we're in the origin ancestral land, we can still communicate with and control our clones. Otherwise, since we spend half of every 10,000 years in the ancestral land, who would handle things here? People like us, after cultivating so far, always have some enemies. They often take advantage of our absence to cause trouble. So, don't tell anyone when you plan to enter the origin ancestral land. Go secretly." Long Yi spoke with the wisdom of experience, sharing some common sense. Lin Moyu asked, "What exactly do we do in the origin ancestral land?" Long Yi replied, "What else? We fight. You'll know the details when you get there. The rules of heaven and earth don't allow us to reveal it here." She glanced at the void and winked, signaling she couldn't say more. Her expression was vivid. Though a Tao Lord, she wasn't as reserved as those from the human race. Thinking of Antares, he seemed similar. The two were quite a match. A year later, the world-sealing Tao Lord was the first to revive from the immortal jade. Lin Moyu explained what had happened and helped him nurture a new world spirit in this world. Since the world-sealing Tao Lord's true spirit imprint was gone, returning would be difficult. Better to stay in a new world, which, with its superior formation and Tao projections, suited him better. About half a year later, Antares also recovered. 4037. 4037. Chapter 4037. Target, Origin Ancestral Land. Antares woke up. After Lin Moyu told him what had happened, Antares was so frustrated he could die, letting out one dragon roar after another. It wasn't until Long Yi gave him a slap that he finally quieted down. Long Yi gave him a look. "You're a great Tao Lord, aren't you? It's just a little thing, what are you yelling for?" Antares snorted, "What do you know?" Lin Moyu laughed, "He's just yelling for my benefit, don't mind him, that's just how he is." Antares replied, feeling a bit wronged, "Wasn't this all your fault? I'm so badly injured, it'll probably take tens of thousands of years to recover." Lin Moyu said, "Plans can't keep up with changes. I didn't expect things to turn out this way, but at least it's all resolved now. Just rest and recover. 40,000 years will go by fast." Long Yi said, "If you want to recover faster, I can help you." Her gaze was intense, and Antares immediately understood what she meant. He replied, a little embarrassed, "Tens of thousands of years is fine. I can't just sell myself over this." Long Yi snorted and ignored him. Lin Moyu could see that although Long Yi looked a bit displeased, her gaze toward Antares was only getting more heated. After all, a dragon like him was a rare treasure among the dragon race. After chatting for a while, Lin Moyu took Antares back, and Long Yi also said her goodbyes, but before leaving, she said she'd be coming to find Antares soon. Of course, she meant in the real world, not the soul void. With the mark she'd left in Antares' true spirit, it wouldn't be hard for her to find him. Lin Moyu gave Long Yi a divine rune. With it, she could enter the origin continent, and as long as she didn't do anything to harm it, the origin continent wouldn't attack her. Antares had no objections. In fact, Lin Moyu knew he was quite happy about it. Antares definitely wanted to cling to Long Yi's thigh, so he'd played hard to get. He knew that being with Long Yi would bring him great benefits, and maybe he could even become a great Tao Lord himself, but only if Long Yi truly cooperated with him, not just took him as breeding stock. After returning to the origin continent, Lin Moyu left the soul void and instantly appeared before Antares, giving him another careful check. "You're in better shape than I thought. At most, you'll need 20,000 years to recover, and with Long Yi's help, it'll be even faster." Antares said, "You're heading to the origin ancestral land next, right?" Lin Moyu nodded, "I'll prepare, leave a clone here to watch over things, then I'll go." Antares said, "Be careful in the origin ancestral land." Lin Moyu had told him before that going there meant fighting, not sightseeing. Even if Antares didn't fully understand, he knew that if great Tao Lords were being summoned there to fight, the enemies must be dangerous. Lin Moyu had some guesses and smiled, "Don't worry, I have a pretty good idea who the enemies are. With my strength, you don't need to worry about me." Antares thought of Lin Moyu's methods and nodded, "Yeah, it's those guys who should be worried, not you." Lin Moyu laughed, "Hopefully when I get back, you'll already be a father." Antares grinned, "You never know." With his playing hard to get strategy, Long Yi was already hooked, and Antares clearly had his own plans. Lin Moyu began preparing his clone. According to Long Yi, the clone needed to be strong enough, at least 30% of his main body's power, or it wouldn't be able to hold off enemies. That wasn't a problem, as long as he left some undead servants, it would be enough. With undead servants around, the clone's strength was secondary. As Lin Moyu saw it, his only truly dangerous enemies were the God of Light and the Lord of Darkness. They might try to cause trouble while he was away in the origin ancestral land. The Lord of Curses probably wouldn't target the ancestral land. His goal was Lin Moyu's physical body. Now that Lin Moyu was a great Tao Lord, his next step was to become an eternal being like the Lord of Curses. The Lord of Curses would definitely act before that happened, and it wouldn't be long. Lin Moyu had asked the discernment beast about the Lord of Curses, but even it didn't know where he'd gone. After all, if the Lord of Curses didn't make a move, no one would know. Enemies lurking in the shadows were the most troublesome. All Lin Moyu could do was prepare for whatever came. He began setting up formations again, standing between the origin continent and the outer Great Tao, sending out countless divine runes. This formation wrapped around the entire world, linking with the previous formation and extending into both the real and soul void worlds, turning the world into a fortress. With his current strength, the formation could block even great Tao Lords, so even if the God of Light and Lord of Darkness showed up, they couldn't do anything to the origin continent. It took Lin Moyu a full 100 years to complete the formation. About 70 years ago, Long Yi arrived at the origin continent. Seeing Lin Moyu busy with the formation, she didn't disturb him and went straight to find Antares. Lin Moyu focused on his work and ignored them. After 100 years, the formation was finished. Lin Moyu tested and confirmed it was flawless, then handed control to Dao Venerable Hao and the others, just like before, to be operated together with Little Mei and the rest. With a wave, he retrieved the divine continent cauldron. During the formation process, he had already used the formation to suppress all the spirit veins, so even without the cauldron, the origin spirit veins would remain stable and not affect the beings of the world. The old sword Dao Lord could do it back then, so for Lin Moyu it was even easier. The divine continent cauldron was a treasure from the birth of the world, even older than the world itself. Using it just to suppress spirit veins was a waste. Besides, the cauldron seemed eager to return to the world tree. As soon as it was back, it flew to the tree's branches, as if it belonged there. Lin Moyu had a feeling that the world tree and the divine continent cauldron were always meant to be together. Once everything was ready, Lin Moyu went to the soul void to find the discernment beast and asked it to help watch over the origin continent. After paying a certain price, the discernment beast agreed. If real danger came to the origin continent, it would act. Lin Moyu knew the discernment beast's strength on the surface. It seemed similar to an emperor, but it was probably stronger. After all, it had survived from another domain to this one, and no one knew its true power. With the discernment beast and his own preparations, Lin Moyu could finally rest easy. A few years later, far from the origin continent, a passage to the origin ancestral land opened with a thunderous roar. 4038. 4038. Chapter 4038. Lin Moyu's story. In the blink of an eye, 100 years had passed since Lin Moyu left the origin continent. During that century, legends about Lin Moyu never ceased. Some news spread from Yudao City, explaining what had happened back then. Cultivators from Yudao City who traveled abroad brought stories with them. According to the stories, the origin continent had gone through two eras, the insect race era and the Buddhist race era. Both eras were ultimately buried and destroyed. The one behind these buried eras was the world will. In the stories, the world will tried to sacrifice all living beings in the world in order to break through to a higher realm. But in the end, this sacrifice was stopped by Lin Moyu, who became the hero who saved the entire world. These stories spread widely across the origin continent, spawning many versions, but the content was mostly the same. The evil of the world will, and the righteousness of Lin Moyu, never changed. In the stories, Lin Moyu's genius was beyond belief. He surpassed all the geniuses of three eras, standing alone at the top, unmatched by anyone. The stories eventually reached the outer Great Tao. Some people scoffed, admitting Lin Moyu was strong, but doubting the so-called three eras. But others believed there must be some truth to the rumors. Even if the stories were exaggerated, the gist was correct. After all, many had witnessed the madness of the world will. The world will really did have the power to destroy an era, and the whole process, combined with Lin Moyu's arrangements, matched the stories. In the end, whether true or false was no longer important. The most important thing was that this world now truly belonged to Lin Moyu. Even though Lin Moyu never declared himself the master of the world, everyone knew in their hearts that this world was under his control. Yudao City had become the core holy land of the world, with countless visitors every day. In Yudao City, there stood a 10,000-meter-tall statue modeled after Lin Moyu. Over the past century, many places on the origin continent had erected statues of Lin Moyu, but the largest was in Yudao City. Perhaps out of awe for Lin Moyu's power, no one dared disrespect the statues. Instead, many came daily to pray before them. Lin Moyu's image, battling heaven and earth, had become the idol of countless cultivators. Everyone wanted to become the next Lin Moyu. For 100 years, the origin continent had enjoyed peace and stability, with no major conflicts, and it seemed the future would be the same. Lin Moyu's prestige had not diminished at all. In fact, as the stories spread, his worshippers only grew in number. Although new geniuses kept emerging, people always compared them to Lin Moyu, only to realize just how monstrous Lin Moyu truly was. Outside the origin continent, in the world's mist, two figures appeared. Separated by billions of miles, they watched the origin continent, seeing everything that happened there. Space was no barrier to their eyes. Hey, a cold laugh sounded. Who would have thought, one of us is darkness, the other light, and we'd end up joining forces against a single enemy. With that laugh, the Lord of Darkness revealed himself. In front of him, the god of light also gazed at the origin continent. He folded his wings and murmured, "There's no need to say such things. There are no eternal enemies in this world, we just walk different Daos. No matter what our Daos are, even if we were enemies before, it doesn't matter. What matters now is dealing with Lin Moyu. He's already become a great Dao Lord, we can't kill him." Both the Lord of Darkness and the God of Light knew how formidable Lin Moyu was. Both had suffered at his hands and only survived by fleeing to the origin ancestral land. The Lord of Darkness chuckled, "Even if we can't kill him, we can destroy his world and kill all his friends and family. When he returns from the origin ancestral land and finds everything gone, I wonder what his expression will be." His laugh was chilling, full of murderous intent, like a beast lurking in the dark. The God of Light said, "But how can you be sure he really went to the origin ancestral land?" The Lord of Darkness replied, "I snuck into his world for more than 10 years and found he wasn't there. Besides, 100 years ago, both of us saw the passage to the origin ancestral land open, and someone entered. It wasn't far from here. Besides, if this were a trap, I would have been discovered when I snuck in. With his strength, I doubt I could have hidden from him." The God of Light was still pondering, not making a decision right away. The Lord of Darkness continued, "You found this place based on your old memories, but you're still afraid to make a move. So what's the point of coming here? Don't forget how embarrassing it was last time. Now we're probably the laughingstock of those guys." The God of Light's face darkened. When he fought Lin Moyu before, he was forced to flee to the origin ancestral land, a shameful thing. Later, in the ancestral land, he ran into the Lord of Darkness and realized they'd both escaped from Lin Moyu. So they joined forces to deal with Lin Moyu. Using information left by the celestial race, the God of Light found the origin continent's location. He knew the origin continent had a world will, and, using a treasure, deduced that Lin Moyu would have to deal with the world will, leading to a great battle. They planned to take advantage of the chaos and have the world will kill Lin Moyu for them. They knew that even together, they'd struggle to kill Lin Moyu head-on, but with the world will's help, it would be easier. But they miscalculated. Lin Moyu had anticipated them, arranging for the discernment beast and the human sovereign to handle them. They were forced to flee in disgrace. The God of Light said, "You're right. If we've found this place but don't act, there's no point. But Lin Moyu is cunning, we can't be careless. Let's wait a bit longer. After becoming a great Dao Lord, he must enter the origin ancestral land within 1,000 years, and once inside, he must stay for at least 1,000 years before returning. Destroying his world won't take that long, we can wait a few more centuries." The Lord of Darkness wasn't in a hurry, he just wanted an answer. "Fine, let's wait." In a flash, another 500 years passed. During those 5 centuries, Lin Moyu never reappeared, only his legend continued to spread. The number of people who worshipped him only grew. Finally, in the 600th year after Lin Moyu became a great Dao Lord, the sky over the origin continent suddenly darkened. Not just the origin continent, the entire outer heaven Dao darkened as well. Endless darkness surged from the mists outside the world, beginning to envelop everything. Above the world, a formation blazed to life, and a giant appeared. This was not the world will, but something even greater, manifesting as the world's guardian. Fists rained down, scattering the darkness. From within the darkness, countless phantoms charged out, attacking the formation from all sides. The giant and the darkness clashed, evenly matched. Countless great Dao realm cultivators and several great Dao lords appeared on the outer great Dao, watching this sudden, epic battle. Some Dao lords looked grim. A great Dao lord is invading. 4039. 4039. Chapter 4039. Finally waiting for you too. The invasion of a great Dao Lord made the faces of many Dao Lords and great Dao realm cultivators turn extremely grim. Fortunately, the formation Lin Moyu had set up was holding, so the world was not in immediate danger. The giant fought fiercely against the darkness. The Lord of Darkness manifested endless phantoms, not strong individually, but attacking the formation from countless angles. The dark great Dao was corrosive, and under its erosion, the formation was gradually weakening. Within the world, several Dao Lords whispered, "If the formation breaks, we're all dead. Even if our strength is meager, we can't just stand by and watch. Let's fight, just like when we faced the outer heaven celestials in the Black Blood realm. Even if we die, at least we'll relieve some pressure on the formation. Then let's fight." Everyone roared in unison, ready to charge into battle. The cultivators of the origin continent were courageous, especially those who had survived the great catastrophe. They were brimming with fighting spirit. They rushed toward the outer formation, prepared to fight with all their might. Suddenly, a light pierced the darkness, dazzling the eyes. But this light did not bring hope, it brought destruction. The intense light turned into a giant sword, slashing down on the formation like the will of the heavens. The formation rumbled and shook, cracks appearing. The immense power poured through the cracks into the world. The Tao Lords and Great Tao Realm cultivators who had just charged forward were knocked down like raindrops by the force. The Tao Lords looked grim, and many Great Tao Realm cultivators were injured. The power gap between a Great Tao Lord and them was too great, even the aftershocks were unbearable. At that moment, another formation appeared within the origin continent. This formation merged with the world's main formation, and the cracks quickly healed. Everyone was overjoyed. Lin Moyu had actually set up more than one layer of formation. The origin spirit veins and countless great Taos poured their power into the formation. The once precarious formation was instantly stabilized. The intense light appeared again, breaking through the darkness and turning into countless blades that struck the formation. The giant formed by the formation now wielded a massive sword, blocking most of the attacks. Still, many attacks landed on the formation, causing dazzling flashes and making the world shine brilliantly. At this moment, Hao Dao Venerable and Little Mei, among others, flew out of Yu Dao City. Another formation appeared in the city, and they entered it to control the Grand Formation. With someone operating it, the formation's power increased, the giant roared, and countless sword lights scattered the world's mist. The God of Light and the Lord of Darkness, who had been hiding in the world's mist, finally revealed themselves. The God of Light pointed a finger, his wings behind him bursting with radiance, transforming into countless blades that swept down like a storm upon the formation. The Lord of Darkness spewed black energy, which turned into dark evil spirits that gnawed madly at the formation. Lin Moyu's formation was strong, but under their combined assault, it was still weakening. Anyone could see that just relying on the formation, two great Tao Lords working together would eventually break it. Some people showed looks of despair. Where is Lin Moyu? Where did he go? The formation alone can't hold for long. Only Lin Moyu can save us. I don't know, he hasn't appeared for hundreds of years. Maybe he's already left. Some wailed in despair, some remained silent, and others were filled with fighting spirit. Even knowing they would die, they were still willing to fight 10 times over. Everyone reacted differently, reflecting their unique Tao hearts and the choices they made in crisis. Darkness enveloped the world, and the last traces of light were stripped away. The world was sinking into despair. Great Tao realm cultivators summoned their Taos, trying to brighten the world again. The yin-yang origin shone brilliantly, but under the shroud of darkness, even its light was weaker than before. A Tao Lord noticed something was wrong and shouted, "They're cutting off the Taos." All Taos originate from the origin ancestral land, even the yin-yang origin. The Lord of Darkness used his great Tao power to shroud the world, severing the Taos and cutting off the origin continent from their influence. When that happened, the formation would fail, and cultivators would be powerless. The process wasn't fast, but it brought utter despair. Watching their power slowly fade and be stripped away was enough to break many people. The God of Light's attacks were relentless, constantly draining the formation's strength. With the Lord of Darkness's help, the origin continent was plunged into hopelessness. But Lin Moyu still hadn't appeared, making the two great Tao Lords certain he had gone to the origin ancestral land, so they acted even more recklessly. The Lord of Darkness said, "That guy didn't even leave a clone behind." The God of Light replied coldly, "Maybe he just didn't know after all, he only just became a great Tao Lord." The Lord of Darkness laughed, "All the better. I want to see his face when he comes back from the origin ancestral land to find his world gone and all his friends and family dead." Within the dragon race of the origin continent, Long Yi looked at the void. "You really don't want me to act?" Antares showed no worry at all and said calmly, "No need. That brat has a plan. Those two are dead for sure." Long Yi asked, "He's going to kill great Tao Lords?" Great Tao Lords aren't easy to kill. Even Long Yi could only drive them off, never actually kill them. Antares replied, "They're just great Tao Lords. For that brat, it's just a matter of whether he wants to kill them or not." Long Yi wondered, then why hasn't he acted yet? Antares shook his head, "Who knows? That brat never miscalculates. Just wait." Over the centuries, Antares and Long Yi's relationship had changed. Long Yi now spent most of her time on the origin continent, and Antares would sometimes visit her world. Long Yi had developed real feelings and no longer saw Antares just as breeding stock. The two dragons cultivated together, and Antares had recovered well over the centuries. At this rate, he'd be fully healed in a few thousand years, saving tens of thousands of years of recovery time. The formation grew weaker and weaker. Some people's Tao hearts collapsed from fear. Others clenched their fists, determined to fight even knowing they would die. The Lord of Darkness grinned savagely. The formation's about to break. The God of Light said nothing, but his attacks became even more ferocious. Suddenly, the world's mist was blasted apart, and countless golden swords swept through, piercing the mist. The two's faces changed dramatically. The Lord of Darkness hid in the shadows to dodge, while the God of Light folded his wings into a shield to block. The golden swords struck the God of Light, making a thunderous sound and forcing him back. Lin Moyu, the God of Light shouted through gritted teeth from behind his wings. His voice was full of hatred and also a trace of fear. From the distant mist, endless brilliant light shot forth, dispersing the darkness and illuminating the universe. The Lord of Darkness was forced into the open, unable to hide in the darkness any longer. A larger formation appeared, like a giant eggshell, enveloping the entire origin continent including the God of Light and Lord of Darkness. Lin Moyu's voice slowly rang out, "Finally, I've waited for you too." That wasn't easy. 4040. 4040. Chapter 4040. The Heaven and Earth Battlefield. When the Lord of Darkness heard Lin Moyu's voice, he immediately bristled. "You didn't go to the origin ancestral land." Lin Moyu's projection appeared within the formation, overlooking everyone like a god, gazing into the darkness. "What do you think?" The Lord of Darkness replied coldly, "I think you did go to the origin ancestral land, and what's left here is just a clone." He had personally seen the passage to the origin ancestral land open and someone enter. Based on his countless experiences entering and exiting the origin ancestral land, once you entered the passage, you had to go and there was no turning back. So Lin Moyu must have gone, and what was left was only a clone. If it was just a clone, there was nothing to fear. Even if Lin Moyu had left a formation, there was no way he could trap and kill the two of them with it. Eventually, the formation would be broken, and Lin Moyu still wouldn't be able to protect this world. The God of Light blocked another wave of attacks, spreading his wings and staring at Lin Moyu's projection, eyes full of murderous intent. He said in a low voice, "Enough talk. Attack the world, I'll handle the formation." Darkness devours heaven, the Lord of Darkness shouted. Black energy erupted from him, forming a giant mouth in the darkness that bit toward the origin continent. The God of Light hovered above him, wings spread wide, transforming into an endless shield that protected them both. With the God of Light's protection, the Lord of Darkness attacked with all his might, trying to break the formation as quickly as possible. He knew the God of Light's defense was formidable. No matter how strong Lin Moyu's formation was, it couldn't break through the God of Light's defense in a short time. As long as he was fast enough, Lin Moyu's world would still be finished. Light and darkness working together, such a thing was almost unheard of, but now it was happening just to deal with Lin Moyu. A cold laugh echoed from the void. "Hey!" Countless undead servants surged from all directions, instantly reaching the battlefield. The appearance of the undead servants completely shattered the two's hopes. Each undead servant's aura was no weaker than a heaven Tao being. Maybe one-on-one they weren't a match, but with such numbers, the two great Tao lords were doomed. Now, there were not just millions but tens of millions of undead servants, densely packed and overwhelming. The God of Light couldn't believe it. How can his puppets be this strong? He had fought undead servants before they had great Tao Lord level combat power, which was already shocking. He thought that was their limit, but now their power had soared again, nearly matching a great Tao Lord. If there were only 100 or 2, he could handle it. But now, with tens of millions, how could they possibly win? The undead servants wielded countless great Taos, unleashing all sorts of attacks in a dense barrage. In the void, endless great Taos appeared, and behind the heaven Tao was a powerful world. The Great Thousand World projected itself, enveloping the area. Inside the formation, Lin Moyu's voice echoed, "Tao Severance." The Great Thousand World resonated with the origin continent, the triple formation roared to life, and under this immense power, darkness receded and light scattered. The God of Light and the Lord of Darkness's faces changed drastically, filled with terror. Just before, they had been cutting off the origin continent's Taos, now Lin Moyu was cutting off theirs. They didn't understand how Lin Moyu had done it, but the fact was, he had. Both could clearly feel their own great Tao powers fading, growing weaker and weaker. Go, the god of light decided instantly. They knew if they didn't leave now, they'd never get the chance. Fighting their way out was impossible against tens of millions of undead servants. Not to mention, there was still a terrifying formation outside. Their only escape was to flee to the origin ancestral land. Fleeing there a second time was humiliating, but they had no choice. If they didn't, they would die after all. They weren't eternal yet, they could really be killed. Go, the Lord of Darkness echoed. The two simultaneously opened a passage to the origin ancestral land. The ancestral land's projection descended, the passage opened, and two rays of light enveloped them. Suddenly, they both felt a surge of origin energy, as if a terrifying being had descended, its pressure making them tremble in fear. Great Tao world-ending palm. With a soft shout, a terrifying palm print appeared in the heavens, striking the projection of the origin ancestral land. With a roar, cracks spread across the projection and the passage, as if they might shatter at any moment. How is this possible? No way, absolutely impossible. They cried out in shock. The origin ancestral land was the place where all Taos originated, the most noble and mysterious place in existence. Even as a projection, it possessed the essence of the ancestral land. They had entered and exited it countless times and knew this well. Yet now, the projection was cracked by a single palm. If it happened a few more times, wouldn't it be destroyed outright? What kind of power was this? Was it even possible for a living being? Terrified, they rushed into the passage at top speed, fleeing into the origin ancestral land. If the projection really shattered, they'd be finished. Lin Moyu revealed himself in the void, watching them escape. As expected of the origin ancestral land, it didn't break. That palm hadn't been full power, but it was about 80%. He hadn't expected the projection to withstand it. He didn't strike again, instead looking into the void, where a pair of eyes watched him. That was the candle dragon, warning Lin Moyu not to go too far. Lin Moyu laughed. Got it, that was an accident. The candle dragon clearly didn't believe him, but said nothing more. The candle dragon's presence was the real reason Lin Moyu didn't strike again, otherwise, the two would never have escaped to the origin ancestral land. Lin Moyu asked, if I go to the origin ancestral land to chase them, can I fight inside? The candle dragon's voice replied, as long as you don't damage the origin ancestral land, you can fight. That was almost nonsense. How could great Tao lords fight in the ancestral land without causing damage? Lin Moyu sighed, looks like I'll have to let them live a little longer. He'd waited for them for hundreds of years, and still they escaped. The candle dragon suddenly said, you can fight in the heaven and earth battlefield. Lin Moyu was taken aback. Heaven and earth battlefield. When you enter the origin ancestral land, you'll understand, the candle dragon said, then closed its eyes and vanished. This time, when the candle dragon closed its eyes, Lin Moyu didn't feel the world overturn as before. He knew it was because he had become a great Tao lord and was now immune. The world overturning feeling wasn't intentional on the candle dragon's part, it was a natural effect, but great Tao lords were exempt. Looking at the still running formation, Lin Moyu sighed and waved his hand to deactivate it. With a thought, the origin ancestral land's projection appeared, the passage opened, and Lin Moyu stepped inside.